麒麟锐起，破晓而击。今天，苏州 LNG 战队将在主场羊城国际电竞馆迎战 EDG 战队。让我们有请双方对阵战队登场。 首先欢迎 Edward Gaming， 上单 ZDZ， 打野小号，中单 Angel， 下路安，辅助 Perukia。欢迎苏州 LNG Esports， 上单紫卡，打野小方，中单海超，下路 Fish One。 辅助卓。LPL 第3赛段常规赛组内赛第3周第7日的第1场比赛，苏州 LNG 对阵 EDG 即将开始。LPL 无畏进巅峰。
Good morning to everyone out there. We've had a couple of tech issues today where the clean feed is not working exactly how it's meant to, so we're running out for Huya instead. So if there are any issues with the feed or anything like that, be assured we're trying our best. Also, my voice is a little bit dead because we went to karaoke last night. Yeah. So I need to go get some stuff ready in the background. I know we're close to picking bands. Got EDG, LNG first up on the docket. However, just gotta make sure I'm there. Gotta make sure I'm prepped. Oh, I'm into the draft already. Well, what that probably means then is that I'll have to stick around for the draft, and I'll have to go do that stuff in just a bit. So for the first draft of the day. Azir, Vi still being banned in first round. And that Varus as well. On the other side, heavy jungle attention as well. With Pantheon Viego. Of course, LNG, they played yesterday. They debuted their new AD carry, Fish One. Yes, that is a real name. They lost 1-2 to Ultra Prime. Yet to pick up a series win. It'll first lock in the Trundle. Now, if I were EDG, I'd be thinking of anti-tank options already. I mean, there's stuff like the Rumble, which I think you could lock in quite well here. Go for the Annie instead. I don't think you lock in Jarvan there. Like, Xiaohao's very good, but Trundle signals that the other team wants to pick a heavy tank, and then if you pick a heavy tank into Jarvan, then he struggles quite a lot. The Wukong locked in for any Wukong. And on the other side, the Gwen and the Talia. So they don't go for a tank. So they go for the Talia, and they go for the Gwen. They haven't locked in a heavy tank. Now the Aurora can come in, and that's really good against the Trundle, because the Trundle has no real way to lock down the Aurora. And it beats the Gwen in lane 2. That's a good answer, I think. And welcome in all the regulars as well. Rosary, thank you for the kind comments in YouTube chat. And that Aurora. Such a power pick on the recent patches. Second round of bans, of course, AD carry's been focused, because that's not been locked in just yet. Hey, Shrimp Cakes. Hey, Peanut. Hey, Initialise as well. And Montes. Appreciate you all. So for EDG, they have a dynamic engage combo. All three members of the top side can engage quite heavily. Banning out the Rakan, which can follow engages like that well. The Kaiser are 2. Appreciate you, Giro. And the Alistair locked in for EDG. Now, typically, you would like to lock that in with something like that. As well. You can go for Sivir for EDG now, I think. I think Sivir's not off. Well, it's not fantastic versus the Trundle. Everything else, I think it's fine versus. Braum locked in for draw. Works quite well versus the Wukong and the Alistair, but they are... Wait, where's your engage? You know, where's your engage? You have nothing. You have a pillar and that's it. Senna locked in for Fish 1. Some ability to impact sidelines now, but I think LNG have got very little engage. Their range is fine, but I don't think Aurora is stopped by any of this stuff, really. Appreciate you, Sam. I got you, boss. I'm gonna need some honey as well. Do you mind fetching some honey, Sam? Just because it will help the voice. Well, I wouldn't either, but karaoke demands it, Sam. Corky locked in for Arn to round out their draft, and I do think that LNG just has so little engage. So little engage. The Corky really helps in terms of the early game pressure. I think it's better than the Sivir because you can hop over the wall with the Valkyrie if you need it. This is the kind of game I wouldn't mind seeing something like the Shojin as well for the extra kind of cooldown and the extra brawliness of the HP. Sam, the clean feed's not working today. Yeah. So we're using Hoya instead, which might lead to some issues for us, but so be it. Because we've been used to using the clean feed for a while. If it stays down, we'll see if we can do anything about that, of course. Really hoping that it fixes itself, not gonna lie. Trundle is frontline, says Braum. So I disagree. I think that they are half frontline. Now you could say they're frontline. I would argue that it's a bad frontline. There is no tank for the Trundle to shred. He's not a tank if that's the case, which does hurt. And yeah. And I think that the Braum, well, can be tanky. It's not as tanky as something like an Alistair as well. I don't think it's invalid to say it's no frontline, you know. Okay, we'll get into the game, folks. Now, I gotta ask this, folks. Did the feed just get louder there? Did the music just get louder in the background? Did it just get louder? Because if it did, that means we're okay. If not, that means we have to go manually fix things around. Well, I don't hear anyone saying anything in chat. We'll hear the gyros and we'll get back to you. Alright folks, hello, one and all. couple tech things to work through today, as there is a dead clean feed. We're all off Huya, so any info on where things are at, always appreciate it. Volume stuff and all that kind of thing. If there's any issues and all that kind of jazz. We can miss you yesterday. Was it day off? Yeah, kind of. We had some stuff on in the evening, so it just wasn't working out logistically, unfortunate, Peanut. Yeah, we would have been there otherwise. But we saw the schedule. We had some other stuff and think, oh, it's just not going to fit in. Unfortunately, life happens. Alas, it does sometimes do that. See how this one works out. It's easy. Good little play there onto Zucker early on. We've seen more and more of this Aurora into the Gwen. Shy really getting a lot of value out of that. Flandre as well. I think a lot of our other top laners have really picked up on that one as well. Nice headbutt there from Palkia. Been having a very good debut into the LPL as Dearest Palkia. Significant stuff there. See whether that's enough to bring EDG to a more respectable position again. Again, looking at this series right now, 0-4 versus 4-0. EDG very much on an upwards trajectory. Feels like they finally resolved a lot of the issues they were dealing with. On the other side, LNG, I don't even know where to go. Fish one. They might need a few more than just one fish. They've got to feed the 500 here with this guy. See how he does. Was not all that impressive yesterday. They got a game win. It wasn't really enough to get much more than that. Bit of a chunk down bot side. Joe puts up the unbreakable. Palkia goes in. Doesn't quite have the passive proc, so is going to be just fine. Joe's still got things like some biscuits to work with and all that kind of jazz, so should be alright as yet. But we'll keep our eyes on it. So, quiet early game so far. Nothing really crazy happening. Shelfong on the Trundle. Be interesting to keep our eyes on. Trundle in general felt very, very strong right now. And if LNG can find their way to 20-odd minutes in the game, still in touching distance. Gwen plus Senna. Be very, very nasty to manage. EDG will be using that kind of mid-game power spike where they get all their big circles down at once to really take over and explode the game. The Annie Wukong had an Aurora ult. Corky's AoE, pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's Fish 1, yeah. Don't ask, I'm pretty sure it's Fish 1. From all I've heard, he's just named himself the #1 fish. Hang on, Ghost just being popped here. We might have to wait a second. EDZ potentially in danger, goes across the velts. 5, just doesn't have to blow the flash. ZDZ yet to reset anyway, so has the pot and TP to work with. Seems alright for now. Aurora just TPing back, basically. Had a bit of an aggressive trade from Zucker on his reset with the Ghost. The ZDZ had yet to reset, so gets his own reset off. But it does get the wave shove for Zucker, who obviously in the Gwen v Aurora matchup, finding good base timings can be a challenge at times, so it does get that potential switch out. Jaws sitting bot side trying to hold this wave because they're lane swapping out of this, interestingly. They're sending the center top side. And Jaws picking up a bit of this farm under the turret, but we are getting some switch of lanes here.
I mean, I understand that now. Looking at the CS between the Sen and the Corky, down 15 CS from the first 6 minutes. It's not really what you want to be in a match.
No.
Yep. And quickly, yeah, I don't know whether Sen's asked already, but if you can just let us know how the game sound is like compared to us, you let us know, please, because we're doing a slightly different thing today. That is a refresh stop on Triangle.
Might be a bit more than that. Good stun, buy some time. They're TPing as well, but Palkia coming on over means they're not really going to find as much as I think they were hoping for there.
Yeah, that's teleport in from... Well, you do use that ultimate from Angel, but he has the cooldown boots already, so it's a little bit lower cooldown than it would have been. Managed to get some HP off the Trundle.
They head on towards Dragon. Early smite there from Xiaohao, but he's got 2 charges, so can afford to actually use the first smite to speed up the clear.
Yeah. I remember in the past when it used to be a bit of a troll thing to do that. Now it's actually... Then occasionally you see sort of like a Z jungle and you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
really
that makes sense.
It really does need to do that, actually.
There was an error, right? Before all the jungle pets and before...
Okay, you just let me know now. Is the game sound now lower? To Masco. Is the game sound now lower? So if we can handle it like this, it's much more easy for us.
Yeah, makes life a lot simpler.
We're getting another stun off. It doesn't have the damage to kill. It will be enough to force my lane. Trying to stop a couple of those minions dying. Okay, what about now? Is it now much quieter? If it's not changed at all because we've like halved the volume, then it'll have to be something else that we do.
Haichao might be in danger here, as Angel, rather, is the one who's being collapsed onto, but size up the seismic shove, flash away from Xiaofeng, who's now trying to get some value. The headbutt pulverize on top of that Trundle, who's on the frozen domain. The subject get rolling, but gets stunned up, and it's just an easy kill for EDG.
First blood to EDG as Trundle goes too far, and as we were saying in draft, the Trundle isn't a frontline with this kind of draft. There is no tank to use that ult onto to get a ton of resist, like a Ornn or Sejuani or something like that. It ends up being the death of Xiaofeng as he goes way too far.
Early lead towards EDG, but somewhat expected with comps and also just level of play. EDG have honestly been on a solid trajectory, I think is the way to put it. They switch in Palkia, and this team looks actually decent again. After what felt like another miserable year from this squad, we were worried we weren't actually going to have them in summer. In the end of it, it was OMG and RNG of all teams who bowed out. Not playing this split, but the other end of that, right, is now EDG are rolling. Well, how far can they go? Of course, they are in Nirvana right now, looking to find their way up to playoffs regardless. You do manage to make it up there, but you will still be in this position, right? Well, we've not seen any stage games from EDG against the true titans, such as it is within the LPL. And it's difficult to say exactly how far this improvement will take them this time.
Question chat, can EDG make it to Worlds from Group Nirvana? They can, yes. If you finish at the top of this group, you do get a chance to go into playoffs and compete from there. And I think EDG, being 4-0, impressing, will be
Frontrunners for it.
Well, frontrunners to get into playoffs, but then to Worlds, that's where the question becomes much more open-ended. Because EDG, I think they've looked great. It's hard to tell where this team will cap out because no one's really managed to punish them so far. Now, there are things which are good. I think that particularly Xiaohao has really impressed me. ZVZ as well, on the whole too. But what happens when they come up against your Kanavis, your Bins, your 369s of the world? What will happen there is Palkia. Again, creating space as the god of Pokemon, as Pokemon space, Palkia comes into the mid lane.
Yeah, and on the other side, Fish One is not very respectful of the space. It turns out that cows are supreme fishermen. And he might be Fish One, but he's into a manatee.
You know one thing which I learned that it's genuinely a fun fact.
Oh, go on.
By the way, you can have some fun facts in chat.
No, you can, yeah.
They're in the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to be some summons dropped. Angel getting engaged onto.
Gets inside the Hallow Mist, gets the stun on down. Zucker with the Dawning Shadow coming on through to keep the people alive. He's trying to make some space, but another Disintegrate comes on down, and Zucker has all in and failed to secure the kill, just shy on the snips. And he's just dead at collapse.
Even with the center ult, it's not enough. The side lane loss will come through, and LNG, they have denied all the growth from EDG and taken themselves. It's not like there's going to be a full tower push afterwards, but EDG will be happy with that. Another kill to Xiaohao, who has been the engine room of EDG.
Absolutely, and that engine is fitting inside of the space created by Palkia. You see this Haraji, you keep going, look. And then Angel on the Annie is like the spark plug that's giving the combustion engine its Gobum. And we'll continue to...
Yeah. So the reason why things went weird on like a PC there is because the laptop which we have the, capture card out to has turned off. So what that meant is that my PC is now recognizing that there is both a capture card and not a capture card, and it's well, no, so if you do it now, it's gonna go. Oh Jesus, Sam! If you turn it on again now, it'll do the same thing in reverse.
Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because basically there's a laptop on the side. It's just gone idle and turned off. But basically because there's an HDMI going from PC to PC,
Yes.
it really makes the PC hate itself. Hopefully it doesn't end up being any problems on your stream, man, but I just see everything stutter and freeze on the PC, which makes me a bit scared. 20 seconds till Dragon, second one of the game coming up, and there could be a fight around this choke point, actually.
Could well be. Palkia now potentially in danger. The pulverize comes undone. Howchai coming across with that Weaver's Wall. Beginning to try and turn this one around, though. The Gatling gun flying from Arn gets a lot of value. Xiaofeng, though, potentially on to Xiao Hao here. He's got the flash. Doesn't burn it. Now Palkia's going to flash, but it's quite late. Overcomes EDC, though, between worlds. Looking at some value on to Xiaofeng. He's now going to go down as well. Another one over towards Arn, who just gets shoved back, and the last embrace prevents him chasing for too many more autos.
Could have been a flash last shotgun from the bunny there as well, but chooses not to. EDG do lose their jungler, and that kill will go over to his opposing number. I think he had a shutdown onto him, and yeah, he didn't use that flash. I was wondering whether it was an active choice, say I want to save my flash for something more important. It's not like the Trundle had it to follow on the other side, so I think that was a mistake. EDG still walk away slightly better from that, but LNG actually to get some gold back.
Okay. Have a look at this one again. As it looked, to begin with, Palkia was going to be really, really in danger, especially as the collapse came on through, but then tried to turn it around to EDG, and they do get Jaw to begin with. It's just Xiao Hao decided he was going to hold onto the flash and goes down earlier here.
Yeah, and now ZDZ's caught on the sideline, will be forced to flash himself.
Wheeling down, skip and splash, goes down to the needlework. Nice collapse there from LNG.
I have to say, Zucker, I know he lost that 1v3 or whatever earlier, but he was playing that mechanically very well, understanding his damage limits, and right there does the same again, and suddenly the Gwen does get that kill. He's not too far behind ZDZ, even though he's down 30 CS, has gotten a ton of gold elsewhere, and now is actually quite happy considering the situation.
Valkyrie forwards his arm, but then he's going to get him way too much. It's just a 1v2. Passive's about to come on down. He's just been Brawn passive. He's already burned his flash. I think he's in trouble here. Gets a decent amount of work back, but he just dies. What?
There we go. So it turns out doing the whole thing with our headphones doesn't change the volume. For those of you who said, oh, it's better now, I do appreciate you. I don't actually think the game sound's changed at all. We've changed it now on the stream, so hopefully we'll be fine, turns out balance.
Last embrace comes on down onto the Wukong. Top side turret, though, picked up by LNG, and the gold lead begins to dwindle a little for EDG. Still ahead, of course, but gold going into this Gwen, who was down a fair amount of CS, is down a fair amount of CS, but picks up a fair amount of gold. Here's the replay to see what happened down here.
Yeah, we're just talking about that Gwen being behind in CS, but about even in gold. Now they're behind in CS, but ahead in gold. And right over here, Trundle walks up towards Red Buff, finds a jungle support who are
Right ahead.
able to deal with them. Was trying to see if they could flash over the wall, not able to get there in time. Dragon now spawning, and Xiaofeng having a hard time on the Trundle. This is why, coming out of drafters and talking chat saying, well, you know, LNG technically do have a front line, they have the Trundle in the form. And while that is true, I do think that the Trundle is not a front line in this game. So there's no one who's the actual resist to steal. There's a Wukong passive, that's it, you know, it's not that fantastic. Right there is a prime example of how the Trundle, even though he's got one item and he's level 9, whatever, doesn't really have the ability to shrug off that kind of damage. Going to the bot side, camp CDG, potentially heading over towards that dragon, and he does have teleport on the top side and has level 11 with Malignance and Boots, so he's very ready to join a fight.
Okay, so yeah, a little bit of work done there on that dragon. Should go down pretty quickly. All the while, though, LNG think you're just trying to trade at least for the Herald here and get some value out of that.
The dragon's gone down really quickly though, so again, Angel on the top side of that. Paragon might need to blow the ult now, chooses not to just yet.
Gets to hold on to it. Wow.
I am very surprised he was tanky enough to get away with that.
Press the heal button.
Yeah, he did. That does help a fair bit. Now he can save that ultimate for something more important, like a fight around this Herald if it comes to be.
See how it goes from there. Xiao Hao was thinking about it. Doesn't find too much there. Turret being shoved into, but not too much on that one. And EDG have been pretty good about finding picks on their own terms. A little bit over-eager, I think, at points. Allowed LNG to come back in again. They're the ones with the Talia, Weaver's Wall, and the like to come on in. Of course, you've got Dawning Shadow as well, the double globals, giving you a fair amount of response to any given play, assuming your cooldowns are up. The real issue, as you noted, was Xiao Hao has been a real spark of joy for EDG. Is 1,200 gold up on a Wukong that could really mess with this comp.
On the other side, though, LNG, I think that they can start to really rely on this Gwen. This Gwen is in a good position, and Zucker, well, he tried the Nidalee top the other day, and it was
Not
bad.
good. Yeah.
It was bad. However, you look at the state he's in on this Gwen. Yeah, it's not bad. He needs to get into the backline with good angles, but if he does, has that first item, has good gold, has that level 11, so happy with that. Is a full level down on ZDZ, so has lost a lot of XP, but Zucker has at least the gold in place and in hand to make a difference.
Whereas the other side of that is it's not like the Aurora is out of this game either. Is doing just fine in terms of the farm and the rest of it. So 1.5 items there on the Aurora could be quite scary as the game goes on. Speaking of 1.5 items, Xiaohao there as well. Gorky trying to build towards that Muramana transformation. Starting up the Herald. I think this will be feats. They've already claimed feats. I do apologize because I think they got first turret and first 3 kills. Probably, by the looks of it, because I don't think there's been another objective to trade out, so that would make some sense. They've got the scary boots.
It can be really scary, especially if something like the Aurora ends up going something like the Spellslinger Shoes. It gives you a really good amount.
They are pretty obscene.
Those ones feel really good because very cost efficient first steps towards percent magic pen, especially when there are 4 Merc Treads on the other side. It can be really nice.
How does one sling spells with shoes? Are they like really pointy? You know, like you get like those really curly shoes.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's like lacrosse when you have those. It's like a very strange lacrosse net thing.
Yeah, so like the stick. Yeah.
Sticks. I was wondering if they're called like rackets, and it's like it's not a racket. Sticks. I think they're probably sticks.
I've actually got a friend who's a semi-pro lacrosse player.
What?
He's crazy because he's in a band called Breakfast for Bears. Shout out to Breakfast for Bears.
For bears or bears?
Breakfast for Bears.
Oh, the way you said it first was breakfast with bears. I'm like, who the hell's bears?
Might just be my accent being funny, Al.
Well, no, Sam. I know how you say bears, so I was like, what? Sam, believe it or not, Sam, I've known you for 30 years. When you say bears, I'm like, I know how you say the word bears. That was not the word bears. So,
how often do you hear me say the word bears, Al?
A fair amount since the hit TV show The Bear.
That's
came
actually
out.
so true. Oh my god. He's got me, chat. He's got me.
It's just like, who the hell is Bears? Anyway, moving on.
Bears Grill.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Bears Grill. Who the heck is Bears Grill? Oh,
Who the hell is Steve Jobs? Alright, Fish 1 might be turning into Fish 2. Headbutt Pulverize Cyclone. He doesn't quite die to the spike, but needs to run away. Tawny Shadow comes on through. Buys some time. But there's a Battle Herald. Dun 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 dun. We'll get the turret in mid lane. There was some fun S curves going on there.
I gotta say, it's like that's a better like serpentine than the fish swimming. Fish 1 has to use both summons. He uses that ult. Goes to use that herald to go up towards the top scuttle crab rather than using it to go towards top lane out of tower. We haven't really seen people do the whole Monaco Grand Prix to get from outer tower to outer tower, which was more of a common thing in the past.
I definitely get a Teriyaki Boys in my head every time I see the people in the Herald. It's just Tokyo Drift all the time. Yeah. It's just that I don't even know what the sample is. I think it's like Gamelan bells.
Yeah.
They're really cool. They've got a really distinctive sound. It's like they're kind of like in the same kind of. This is wrong immediately, but they're in the same sort of sonic space as things like Xylophones and glockenspiels.
Okay.
But they're more like that. They're almost more symbol-like.
What the hell? I know there were different kinds of bells. There's the famous one thing, tubular bells, which is the one. Yeah, was that the Exorcist?
They added it to the Exorcist. Indeed, it is.
Yeah. Dragons now spawned, so we're going to slightly more topic again. Will be third dragon for EDG and therefore soul points. They have 2 items on their carries.
Ooh, that one was a bit rough onto ZEZ, but he's alright.
He is. Has that blood letters. He has one of those 2 items, as we were saying. Don't quite have the Muramana transform just yet. It'll be a transform off this wave for Arn. Just needs to wait. He needed to wait for that last minion to. He actually cleared that wave out a little too quickly because he doesn't have it now. Now he does. Okay, did it over time. Instead, we'll now get into position. EDG are to the objective first. LNG couldn't hold the choke point. Xiaohao, he's the one flanking, interestingly. Typically, junglers aren't the one doing that.
True, so here it goes. Just had the cleanse proc there to change out some summoners. Keep your eyes on what Palki is running with. It does look like he's gone towards the heel, but there is Zucker on a potential flank. Gwen can get over that wall with the skip and slash.
And LNG just used to give it up. They have the 3 grubs. They can push in the mid lane tower quicker. And they go, oh, that's some nice terrain to
Oh, good work.
CDZ not going to be able to get back in towards mid lane in time. There's going to be Dragon for tower trade, and LNG, I don't think they're unhappy with that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Chemtech Soul's not the worst one to give over, and if you can quickly take the turret, it puts you at less risk.
So Soul Point is down, and in fairness, LNG didn't really feel like they were going to be able to contest that, and I can see why the Sen are not really at the strongest point yet. Now we might end up in a bit of a bigger issue if something like the Atacama gets started here. The observers are certainly thinking it's a possibility. I see that camera work.
Yeah, and LNG don't have the map in place to cross map at this point. They're going to move back up towards the top side. They don't have the Weaver's Wall to close off one exit. Remember, it's an open field net around the Atacama.
But there's an open Angel on the flank looking to get into the back line. Xiaofang will put down the pillar. Angel going to get hit by the Dawning Shadow, but Parkers continue head on forwards, and this Trundle cannot run far enough away. But what about ZDZ and Zucker on the other side doing some work? It's AD carry for AD carry. Haichao in danger. Parker headbutt away. Can't get as much value as I think he was hoping for. There comes out the Seraph shield. Jump away from Zhou with the stand behind Braun. Flash away. Xiao looking for an angle in. The pillar comes on forwards. And Angel interrupted there, looking for the flash play.
Angel's flash not getting anything down. EDG lose their AD carrier. Zucker gets some great damage down in the background, which ends up making it even 1-for-1.
It does, yeah.
Both AD carries go down, and that's it. So EDG, considering how far they are ahead, yeah, bit of a tough play for them. Xiaofeng gets his ult down, manages to go just up against the Annie and the Alistair, and yeah.
That shove was utterly fantastic. Getting onto 2 people there was fantastic. He's fantastic a few more times, maybe 4 of it. And Haichao here just buys a lot of time, still out the Seraph shield, gets to back the other side, and they just can't close down the distance. This pillar in a second means that Angel just doesn't quite get in range.
Not gonna lie, Sam, pillar doesn't do anything. It literally there. I mean, it looks bad, but I mean, it's literally just Angel just flashing, not getting there. Just on further review, the pillar it's literally just there.
It looks cool. It blocks off the way a little. It doesn't really stop the flash being too short.
The way which Angel didn't move towards before casting his W anyway.
Yeah,
so,
okay, fine. You may have a point.
EDG still ahead 3,000 gold. Atacama still alive. They might look towards that again. Teleport out from both supports. As I think supports have figured out the timing which they use their spellbook stuff on, and they've kind of fallen into a regimen with it, which I'm not sure I like, honestly. I would prefer them to be, again, more open-ended and a bit more creative how they use the summoner spells rather than falling into predictability. If both supports are using both the same summoners at the same time, that's actually a problem. You want supports to be creative if you're bringing that spellbook in that first place.
A bit of control of the river now coming on down for EDG. Get loads of control walls down. Atacama still up. I think they'd like to return to the scene of the crime, if I had to guess.
Dragging up in 2 minutes as well, EDG not forcing anything around. Yeah, Atacama so fed. Triforce the Black Cleaver. Now, it's not a great team to stack up Black Cleaver for. You've only got one other magic damage source. Physical damage source of the Corki. But just for yourself, anyway. Everyone knows against a Wukong. Right?
Yeah.
As soon as Black Cleaver is completed on Wukong, you start being very respectful of that champion.
You do. And I think the other side, of course, is Corki has his own shred, right, with the Gatling gun and stuff. If you compare up a Force Bomb with a shredded Gatling gun, couple autos, someone will die. There's not really much defense on the other side. Those base armor values will just disappear.
Yeah, my only concern is that I don't think the Wukong and the Corki are going to be hitting the same target that often. So what we've seen is Xiao diving very deep, going off the back line. Corki is then trying to just fend off the Gwen rather than anything else. Yeah, but obviously there are cases where that won't be the case, but this is where that won't be the case. There are so many cases. So many. We're like airport security, and the X-ray machine is working smoothly. It's one of the new ones where you don't have to take the laptop out of your bag.
Oh, it's so much better. I have quite a lot of electronics tend to go in my bag, so...
Yeah, I remember one time you brought your audio interface, which connects, your nice mic to the PC, and all airport security sees is just like a giant electronic metal box.
Yeah.
Which is an undescribed metal box with a load of electronics in it. It's not something which airport security takes lightly, believe it or not.
Like the thing is, it's the only time I've ever had an issue. I've never had to take it out before or since. It's the only time.
I am always stopped there of airport security. Always. Regardless of what I've got in the bag or not. I don't know, maybe it's the hair or something. I don't know, but yeah.
It's the hype.
Maybe it's the height.
You intimidate people, Al.
Yeah, it's my aura, Sam. My aura farm by being like, sure, you can. Well, I mean, not that I can turn it down. Still being used as the choke point. Dragon spawning now. EDG looking for that Chemtech Soul. Good poke coming through from LNG, though. Great control with that pillar.
Yeah, it does have a bit of potential emphasis, but good use of the angle coming in from Angel now potentially as well. Palkia with a double pulverize, trying to find some value. The clone is the one I think ended up being exhausted there slightly awkwardly.
Yeah, it was. Angel's used his ult, though. Here comes the Aurora, but rooted down.
Into the backline goes Palkia, but it's across the unraveled earth. Gets stunned up before he gets all that much value down 1-for-1 right now, but importantly, it's the jungler dead for the side of LNG. They lose Senna as well, because Xiaohao is getting to free fire, and they get to turn back towards the dragon. No smite available.
What initially started as great choke point control and use of the minefield and pillar to do so ends as EDG still finding their fight, even with that disengage quite prevalent on the side of LNG. Xiaohao gets into the backline, and Xiaofeng is just not tanky enough. We return to this over and over because the Trundle has been killed first time in a number of fights now, and EDG will get themselves their Chemtech Soul. It starts like this. We'll do it like this. Hang on, Mr. Harmfam. Anyway, right. Haichao gets stunned by the Annie. Some decent damage coming down onto them as they're kind of forced out of the play. And suddenly now the minefield is not following up on the rest of the play, very importantly so, which gives some extra options for Haichao to look for a big flank. Palkia misses the hands check, does get hit by that minefield and goes down. I mean, that's well played to Haichao. You can see the angle for Palkia just again. Just creating space. You're going to say that a lot because
it's fun.
You're going to remember it at one point, folks. You will do. 2-for-1 in terms of the grand fight, grand trade of things. And the soul goes to EDG.
I say you will be, isn't it? That's the one.
Spirit Maker's never heard of the LNG bot lane before. You've never heard of our Lord and Savior Fish One? Well, you have now.
You have now, exactly.
You should have gone to school.
Ha!
Get it because
the fish in school. Yeah, I got that. That was very good, Alex.
Yeah,
very good.
Guilty as charged.
Oh, boo!
I haven't even finished yet.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's great.
The puns are scaling with time.
Scaling.
Are you guilty about all this?
I literally just did guilty, Sam. You can't just do that,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You've broken the law, Sam, by doing the same pun within literally 2 sentences of one, Sam. That's bad, Sam.
What do you think of Pisces when it's entering your mouth, Al?
Huh? What? Oh,
Pisces.
pie. Oh, you're talking about pie. See, that wasn't obvious enough.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a very good one. I just wanted to get Pisces in there.
You have a lot to learn about the art of punning. Adicam, gonna get started up.
This one, I suppose.
Again, I just did Finn as well, Sam.
Dorsal.
You're just doing this.
Dorsal.
Oh my god, Adicam going down. Now you're trying to rush it.
I need to stop laughing and start watching what happens around this Atacard. Does get taken by EDG. Turnaround potentially available, but I think LNG going to have to give that one up as a lost cause. Petals secured. Oh my days, EDG are up 27 of them.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of value. EDG, they are going to get some decent XP from that. Full level over in AD carry. Top lane, still half a level over as well. Zucker's been struggling to get much out of that. Xiaohao, 3 levels down on Xiaohao. Xiaohao over Xiaofeng has just been brutalizing him. Incredible Wukong performance again, and it's very clear that Xiaohao is the best jungler.
He's been defunct.
Xiaohao's the Guardian Angel locked in now, and now when you have Guardian Angel and Chemtech Soul, trying to finish off this bloody Wukong is going to be really, really hard. And it's clear that Xiaohao is the best jungler in Group Nirvana.
Oh yeah.
The question going forward from this is how good is he compared to the rest of the LPL? Because that's the negative of this format. When you have a standout team in Group Nirvana, they get to be kind of boxed away. They don't get to have that iron sharpening iron experience in the upper group where the best teams face off against each other. EDG for me clearly will come out of this group into playoffs, but the question is how far will they go?
It's a big gauntlet if they want to even consider the dreams of Worlds. Like the gauntlet for LPL is rough at the best of times, but this is a very tough ask beyond just that because of the scenario. EDG potentially dangerous. The Weaver comes across. Palkia now split off. Still got the Unbreakable. Will pop it. Gets shoved back. Down about half HP. Buying some time. Knocked up and around, but not quite down as yet. The Winter's Bite goes wide. Continue to look for this Alistair. Slow down. Smoked. Xiaohao on a flank angle. LNG burn a lot and get Palkia's health bar, kind of.
I mean, they stopped the Baron, and Zucker was pushing up the bot lane, so that's why an EDG will be happy at least getting his teleport from their perspective of things. LNG would really like a way to force their 3-grub push. EDG have been doing a good job of forcing LNG to objectives, forcing them away from wave pushing duties. EDG, they're on their reset. Arn just hit level 16. Baron's not going to be started for them, but it's been spotted. EDG will have to roam their way over to that. Aurora has the teleport. They can come over. LNG don't love tanking this objective. Parakia doesn't have his ultimate just yet. Angel on the flank. Oh, and Aurora's on the other. This is a pincer and a half.
There it is. Watch out for the scary bunny rabbit. And he does get shoved, though. Angel's going to flash away. Hit by the last embrace regardless. And Zucker's going to be able to run at them and probably murder them. But what about the other side of the flank? Shaohan trying to get into the backside. Find a good angle on Dujour, who's not going to find all that much work. Nimbus strike forwards into the Cyclone. On gets Zucker. Haichao flashing away. But a flash after with the second part of the Cyclone allows some time. A crushing blow breaks the skull of Talia. Xiaofeng and Nimbus strike away from dead. He's going to get Warrior Trickster the pillar down already. There is nothing to be done right now as Xiaofeng gets hit by the crushing blow.
Another cleansing burst from the Atakan signals the death of an LNG team member. Baron will be taken now as EDG do finally get themselves this objective. This one was gifted over by LNG, though. I don't really know what they thought starting that objective. I thought maybe they thought get the teleport out of Aurora, make sure that we knock down that global summoner, but it ends up just being the death of them.
Hello, Stigrad. Nice to have you, SDE-Grad. I don't actually know how we pronounce that one, but I welcome on in. Nice to have you in here.
Angel, not the best entry for him. Doesn't get the great flank. Doesn't really get a great stun. Gets caught out by the shove from Haichao, who I don't think has had an awful game on the Talia. I actually don't think he's been the problem. I've liked his walls. I've liked his combos. If there's going to be criticism towards LNG, I don't think it comes from mid lane. I think you can argue it's draft. They have no engage. I think it's from bits of laning, of course, too. That bot lane laning phase was not going great, and then their objective play has just been markedly worse than EDG, who have been struggling to deal with that.
And try and find some value. Dawning Shadow comes on down. Jaw in danger, but potentially so is Palkia. It's got a Zeke's Convergence now on the Alistair. What's damage cow?
Very cheap with defensive item. Elder has spawned. EDG, of course, with that early soul unlocked. This may be LNG. Maybe we forget about those criticisms. If they take that while we're jungler down, that's not going to be an option.
Yeah, Jaw doesn't have an unbreakable, but that feels a little ironic. Zucker's going to throw out some needles, but I don't think that's going to matter all that much. You can cut people 1,000 times. The paper cuts really need to be made of sterner things. On gets another onto Haichao. We just can't keep running away. Xiaohao right now on this Wukong. So terrifying. Fish 1 will flash out. We'll stop being Fish 2 for the day.
Yeah, and Zucker might be trying to do death by 1,000 paper cuts, but all he's doing is looking over his back. It's like a whirlwind inside of his head. And other lyrics from that famous Hybrid Theory song. We missed you, Chester. We miss you a lot. EDG will take themselves that Elder. They'll be pushing in towards the mid lane with the Baron still up.
Yeah. Do you remember that full hybrid? No, not the 21st night of September.
The Hybrid Theory one.
The hybrid. Oh, hang on.
Shotgun.
No way to start memeing. Fish 1's about to get executed. Elder Dragon comes on down. A last couple autos and some Spirit Abjuration ensures the death of the bot lane.
EDG will push in with the last of their Baron buff, and EDG, with the Elder in tow now, will probably just end the game. I think ZDZ has had a good game on this Aurora. Had that one time where he was caught out in a side lane, and that's really been the only negative moment. ZDZ, another player like Xiaohao. Oh, I'm going to say that. We caster cursed him. Nope, not quite. He survives through the plate.
Does it that? Xiaohao is so scary. Oh my days. This Wukong is a menace. The size of just wide onto Angel, who Molten Shields the speed. It turns up surrounding yourself by fire makes you run away from it really quickly. Who knew? Onto the Nexus turret to go. EDG. It's looking like it'll all be over right here and right now. LNG. Nothing left to say in this game aside from a few screams of pain as they are obliterated by some rules of Dragon Breath.
EDG obliterates. And Nexus goes down in game 1.
Impossible!
There are no weak cards in my grandfather's deck. You said Kyber.
Yeah.
As we will, we'll get ourselves.
Blue Eyes Elder Dragon coming on in. I see.
Exactly indeed. You get it. Okay, and we'll come back to us. Hello. We'll have to figure out how volume's gonna change and stuff because I don't know how. Oh, hang on, did I change? Sorry, folks, I forgot to do that thing on the other side. Let me just change back to the other one real quick. Because basically the clean feed has died today, folks. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I'll fill in. Effectively, what's happened is the clean feed is dead for reasons unknown, and therefore we have to get the feed from elsewhere. So we're going through Huya, which is fine, but all our sort of like systems for managing volume and stuff don't work with Huya in the same way. So it's just trying to get things resolved. We have to change feeds over. It's like we're all live and good to go. Wait, where's the clean feed? What the hell happened? And so some rapid changing of feeds had to occur.
Yeah, and I don't know what's happened with it, so.
I don't know, figure out what happens with that too. So, do you need a break for anything? Are you good?
I'm okay-ish. Do you want a break, or do you want to go make more coffee?
Coffee would be great. So
I can do that.
We shall maybe do some horse game in the background because we can. I hope it doesn't like minimize the stream. Yeah, basically the way that we do things on. I just gotta check the volumes because I don't know what volume's gonna be like in breaks. I need to be like more careful with that. I can check it on the desktop audio thing here, so hopefully it's fine. But yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Is it another stream live? It is.
Yes, it is. I think it's just a quiet chat today.
Yeah, a little bit.
We normally have Karsel in there being very vocal.
Yeah.
We miss you, Karsel, wherever you are.
Oh, it is. Alright, yeah, we'll have a break. We will... The clean feed is dead, long live the clean feed. Well, it's really nice to have that available when we can, so... Oh, let me just hide the horse game for now, because it's in full screen. Where is the horse game? There we are. Well, those are your stats. ZDZ did a hell of a lot of work on that Aurora, but for me, Xiaohao's still the MVP. He was really good. Okay, let's go do some horse game. Don't actually know what we're gonna do. Which campaign are we gonna run? What do I need to run again? What am I doing on the tail? Is anyone watching the CS final today? I wasn't planning on it, but if it's on, CS is always a good event. I don't know which one to run. I don't know if I've done a good Agnes Tachyon run yet. Maybe that's worth it. Yeah, we'll do it, Agnes. What's your career details like, actually? So you can tell what length of races they run. Medium. Do they have... I could show us a long one. It's medium and longs. Okay, so we'll need to run double stam. If we're looking for 3-star start, well, I guess we'd... Let's do it by affinity this time, actually. Not bad stamina here at least. Gives you front runner up, but I can't really do that much with that. 54, it's pretty damn good actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, wow, 7-star speed. So what stuff have you got in here actually? 7 victory, decent performance. Not bad. 8-star speed is pretty good. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7-star with a bunch more power. Whatever, we'll go with this because it's better affinity bonuses. Okay, let's put some adverts on. Did I put them on already? Yeah. You're done with the horse game? What happened to you? What happened to you? Where's the box? And we can't do this because this is our training. That one tends to be pretty good. This actually might be worth changing out for this because this is better late surger. Even though the other one's technically like better output in terms of actual stats. Xiao MVP? Yeah, Xiao MVP, no surprise. Around Stam, that's good. We want to train up Stam a fair bit, because yeah. We've got a lot of mediums and longs to run. This is energy up event. Nice. 4 on power, hell yes. I want to make sure you do get some of these hints in as well, because they give you some skills. Late surgical is very, very good. We do not take the extra training, because we want the extra energy instead. This is the first one for Swing Maestro, so we need to get luck out and RNG roll 3 events like that. Sometimes you go through an entire campaign, you get none of them. We friendship max. One speed's fine. Grand stam's good. You know, one thing which I found out the other day, so this character, Agnes Tachyon, in real life, they had 2,000 children, I believe. I'm genuinely, that is a genuine number, 2,000 children. Like, that horse was fucking busy. Yeah, Agnes Tachyon is, they got busy. I was surprised as you are. Yep, nope, no, that was, yep, that's a thing. That's a really good skill, by the way, fighter. Really good skill. That's speed, right? Speed and power. 5 on power, Jesus, let's go. We're a late surger or pace chaser, so that does actually make a difference. This is the Bogger support card. I do have this card just at base level, so it's not that useful for me right now. We want a little bit more speed, because you want about 200 speed for the first thing. This is energy up again. Like I said, this does have a slight chance of giving you like indigestion. It like really destroys you actually. I don't really want to run. Late surger as B is not bad actually. This isn't awful. Slightly increased passive effect. This is pretty okay. I just don't want to run this stuff for the first things that we do. I don't think we need any skills right now. I said that, maybe we get completely busted with it. Hi, I'm here for the circus that will be BLG Top Esports. Yeah, well, that's coming up later.
上京东搜赛事预测，使用 AI 预测助你赢千元耳机。京东。
And we hope we don't get boxed out. Now, normally I like running front runner for the early races because it's if you get like late start and you get rushed, you can get boxed and you don't. Your stats are so good compared to everyone else in debut races. You shouldn't really lose once you have decent legacies. Oh, you have a fever kite, so I hope you get well soon. Hope you get well soon. I was actually thinking about doing a second YouTube channel and uploading some runs through that, but I don't think I'm like good enough to be an expert at it, you know? This is stamina. Oh wait, we actually lose this thing. I don't think so. It's actually a little closer than I. Oh fucking hell! Please, oh my god! Okay, we just about went it. Jesus Christ, though. We really need to speed up. Winning by like half a length on debut is a bit spooky. Yeah, if you get Agnes up to, I think it's 3 stars, her ult goes kind of crazy. It's basically like it's a free regen skill, which regen skills are kind of rule the game, honestly. They are very, very good. So. Oh yeah, we take some 1 power. Tail held high is a very good skill. Agnes has become my favorite. Agnes is a very, very good character, by the way. They, you have other late surge. You're mainly late surge stuff, right? Straight away acceleration is also a very good skill. Another hint for fighter. We probably do late surge of them. Get energy back. Ooh, you give. I think we go for the 3 here, right? It gives us like the double friendship training up. Maybe just the 1 actually. I can't remember. Is this energy back? Yeah. December's where we want to start running races again. I should be training Kid Sam Black more because that character is so busted as a support card. Let's hope for an NG up event and let's. Oh, I should have rested. Well, whatever. I mean, it's a hell of a lot of NG up actually. This is stamina, I think. Speed, yeah, whatever. What do you mean your mode went down just as I trained it, you fucker? Why are you getting sad when I've put in effort to make you happy? I shouldn't be annoyed at pixelated horses. I shouldn't be, but that's just pushing it, you know. 50% on that? Oh, I can't do 50%. And we really want to run in December. There are a couple in December which are really good. Oh, we can't run that one, but we do want to do this. That sounds, yeah. I need to train a debuff horse soon. Yeah, getting a debuff is actually don't know either of these ones. Stamina or speed? We go for speed, but speed's actually a little low right now. Not bad. I guess we go for this. Game 3, it's only going into game 2 right now. This is either mood up or energy up, right? I think. Oh, we can get mood up from this, yeah. And shit. Energy or mood? We go for the mood, actually. That's not bad. We still have practice perfect as well, actually. That's worth noting. Late surger corners, but yeah, we need to go late surger now. We just have all of our skills are going towards that. We have to do this just because we need the energy up, I think. Why is this horse named Tachyon? Tachyon. Tachyon. It's like a particle. It's a subatomic particle. 16%? I mean, we've got to go for this, right? Okay, we'll try this. Hopefully we don't fail. We don't. Cool, and we'll get into the game. We'll get some races done after that point. So, into Draft 2. Into Draft 2 we go. Mood went down again. Are you kidding me? After all the shit I just getting so fucking random mood down. Anyway, right. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. I've just stopped getting annoyed at pixelated horses now. What's left up from last game? Rumble was unpicked and unbanned. It was the Gwen Aurora matchup in topside. Zir banned away again. He was banned away last time. Pantheon and Viego were banned away last game from LNG. But double jungle bans towards Xiaohao, who's been very impactful. I think both teams are now really linking into how important this jungle matchup is. Hey Sam, welcome back. Okay, not welcome back. Cool. Scion banned away. I suppose with the Trundle out, stuff like Scion and Ornn get huge value. I think a big problem of what LNG did last game was not lock in a tank with the Trundle. We did see the problem of Trundle being locked in not into a tank and not with a tank. You actually end up having very little frontline ability, even though technically you can stand there and take damage. I mean, anyone can technically do that. It wasn't very effective at doing it. Last ban for EDG. What's left up that's super important? Varus. Varus is available, so that'll be an easy first pick for LNG if they so wish. Pantheon as well, so Pantheon or Varus. So they're going to lock in the Pantheon, probably a Varus over towards Arn. And then you think about what you lock in with that.
Jarvan, I suppose, does feel like flavor of the month at the minute.
But you can still lock in a tank in topside, and then Jarvan feels kind of meh.
Xin Zhao maybe a bit more flexible.
And, like, if you... I mean, I don't see many hovers of that stuff, so that... Sam is the Evelyn main. We have to take this stuff seriously, of course we do. I think the Xin Zhao's better, because if you think that the enemy team's going to pick Jarvan, then you can pick Jarvan to keep your Varus safe. They already have the Pantheon. That's not likely to be a Jarvan lock. Pantheon's technically a flex pick. We just don't see that in LPL or in the modern meta right now. And Xin Zhao is a better early matchup into the Pantheon. Now, I do think that Pantheon can beat Xin Zhao in the early game. It's one of the reasons why he's so strong. LNG will probably look for the nullifying. It's the Constellation Jhin into the Varus where you think, okay, I'm going to do well enough.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I think we've often found that basically Jins that don't snowball, if you don't have damage elsewhere in your draft and you are requiring Jhin then to be ahead of the curve to do damage, then Jhin feels really bad. Because you're then looking at like 4 items really for the Jhin to become like genuinely scary again. But I think in a draft where you're looking at a Pantheon, where you're looking at a Renekton, very AD heavy, don't get me wrong, you should have enough early skirmishing power. The utility of the Renekton is valuable, or the Jhin in and of itself is good.
Very little magic damage coming through from LNG. They might look at something like an Orianna later, I guess, or... I don't know, really, from that mid lane. I think ZDZ, if he goes towards Cassante, is very happy. You want something tanky that can survive lane against Renekton. Sion's normally okay at that nowadays. Ornn, less so against the Renekton. The Renekton really bullies out the Ornn. Cassante is much better laning matchup into the Renekton. Yes, you do fall down a little bit, but I think it's very valuable here. EDG, they will need a little bit more engaged. They have just the Varus ultimate right now, but they do have a strong front line to ward off the likes of the Renekton and the Jhin, who don't do fantastic work into the Cassante come mid-game, actually.
Agreed. We'll see how this all looks as we go on, of course. It's no done deal as yet. Things like the Sylas getting banned away because you are looking to try and get rid of AP option for high tower in the mid lane. The Azir's already gone, I think, which is obviously a comfort for him, even though it's been... He in general has been very up and down, but things like the Sylas, when you've already got a fairly good brawling comp, would have been a good fit. There's some decent ults to steal as well. Crescent Guard alone is solid. Renata away from Varus. Of course, there goes the Akali, another one of those kind of AP diving threats, kind of forcing the archetype away from your melee assassin type figures, I guess, at least the limited options there are from AP on that front.
And Hychad does like an assassin or two in mid lane. He's also like colloquially known as Chowvi because it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. And occasionally was, a very good, put out a good Azir game and a good mage game there too. He's been one of the stranger players to track on LNG because when he came into LNG, he was actually quite hyped from his time elsewhere. But he couldn't really get it done on this team. Victor into Orianna. The Victor can out-trade the Orianna early with Q starts, but loses the push if he does so. Orianna, like most matchups in mid lane,
she can bully a lot of them.
She tends to get 10 CS leads over other mages. There are very few things which upset Orianna in terms of actual laning phase anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, she is gankable, but that's mages for you. But like but then you're looking at 2v2s or 2v1s. That's not quite the same. And of course, any support jungle who knows their salt will be there to defend against that, hopefully. They've locked in the Rel, have LNG, so there's a good ball carrier. Pantheon's not awful for it either, to be fair. Neither, I guess, is the Renekton. But on the other side, in comes the Poppy. You've got people like the Rel and the Renekton and the Pantheon trying to go in. No, they aren't. And that's the plan. I feel like EDG, slightly better front line. Good backline carries in the Victor and the Varus. LNG a little bit more all in on the brawl.
EDG have very little engage, which will be something
Very
which
true,
we need to
yeah.
be wary of. Now, EDG's early games and their objective play have been good enough that I don't think this is a killer for them. They're likely to get advantages in early game because they're playing very well right now between lanes and their jungle support rotations, and if they turn up to an objective first between Gravity Field and the Steadfast Presence, it's harder for LNG to find and engage. However, if EDG slip up, LNG do have options to start following up with Rel or Rihanna combos, the Pantheon opening up another angle too, and that will be their path to success.
We'll keep our eyes on it. LNG need to find a way to stop the EDG hot streak. Let's make it very clear on that one. They are 9 games in a row undefeated right now. This would be their 10th. Won every match they've been in so far. Done as yet. Jhin staring at us aggressively from the broken mirror. It's a pretty cool splash on for Jhin, isn't it? Much to be seen there. Sin. Oh, I said it that way. We did. Watching Doomby's stream yesterday, apparently Ori's skill order isn't solved. Yeah, we are seeing a lot of... we saw mixed scaling of QW. We've seen W for 3, then change around, but those discussions will have to wait. Some crowd yelling to listen to. There's the LNG Dragon. Home arena. See whether they can find a victory. Oh, hang on. Level 1. Oh, Xiaofeng. Oh, no. Oh, that is not good. Okay, well flashed level 1 off the Pantheon. Really nice level 1 spot from Palkia. Can they jump onto Haichao here? They can. 3 Talon Strike might be coming up shortly. Oh, dear. Oh, he's got the flash as well. That's about as bad as it gets without someone dying. So, we now have an Orianna who's late to lane. Has blown flash. Pantheon has had to blow flash at the level 1. No option for an invade or anything now. That is bad, bad news for the side of LNG. Now at the level 1. Misses onto Jaw. On. Crash down. Doesn't find what they're looking for. But of course, something to be said for playing with the Rel. Dismounted. Mount up very strong early on. Harder to land. You can get it. The pullback. The CC increase is really, really strong. And you're right. It's Imperium Varus. Don't see that very often. Cool VFX though. Autos come on through. Crash down just wide. On just gets to sidestep that one. Just hit by the Deadly Flourish. So ends up being chunked a little there actually. Good follow up from Fish One. I'm assuming Poppy yells left hand because she's throwing her buckler with it. Because the hammer's in the right. We've got a question from Downspace of why does Poppy yell left hand? Or I suppose whatever that is in Chinese. That's because I think that's when she throws the buckler. Would be my assumption. My assumption. Anyway, obviously, enough discussing Poppy lines because Xiao Hao looking to punish this Pantheon who does not have anything resembling a flash. Hello there, Xiaofeng. Oh, we're going to go forwards onto that. No, we're not. There's the ward over the wall, starting up the red buff. Where's our bot lanes? Jordan Palkia trading out here. Delaying pretty much everyone's clears. I think Xiao Hao thinking about leaving. There we go. Known quantity. This gets interesting. Xiaofeng has got the smite. And Xiao Hao's dropped a couple camps to make this happen, right? He's still got a full quadrant to clear. Over we come again. Xiaofeng forced away again. Onto the red buff we go. I think we might just have a 3v3 in the jungle. This gets spicy. Here we go. Xiaofeng coming on up. He's got the passive stack. Mortal Steel available. Mortal Will, I apologize. This ain't Yone. Good double hail of arrows. Nice AoE chunk. They're all on vision. Needs to be a bit aware. On step forward for the auto. Palkia puts down the steadfast presence. Goes on into the backside. There's a teleport coming now as well. Damage coming down. Crash down onto Palkia low. But Xiaofeng down. Jungler out. Now Xiao Hao with the passive and the Conqueror stack can get a lot of value down onto Fish One. He's trying to go down. Doesn't quite until just now. It's an utter bloodbath in the jungle. On goes down. 3 for 2 in favor of LNG as Haichao teleported into the jungle to come join in. I am going to say that's LNG favored, just about. Who picked up the kills? The Ori did, the Pantheon did, the Jin did. Nice. On the other side, Shin's out. Varus picking that up. Angel didn't get to join that. So we'll look again. Basically, they full all in on this red buff fight. Deadly Flourish onto Palkia, and they just go, right, we can turn around, get a lot of damage down, but the crash down comes across and gets enough CC there to cause some issue. The piercing arrow of Xiaofeng means you can get traded around. Xiao has got red buff, you've lost your Pantheon, flashing onto Fish 1, but that last shattering strike stun prevents the auto coming on through, getting the kill earlier, so the fact that the Xin Zhao dies earlier on makes it tough. Of course, with the Orianna coming down, it was always going to be a rough end of that play. Bot side, cleanse now out from Arn. Palkia now coming across, but they've gone quite deep. There's another Fish One, no flash, no cleanse. Same for Jaw. He might well be in danger because he's dismounted. Got shoved out of the piercing arrow there. Is a little awkward. Should still go down to the wind becomes lightning. Hail of arrow comes on down. That's now 3 for 3. It's madness out here.
Just all of it.
So, at level 1, Xiaofeng went to go put a ward down, and there was a Poppy waiting for him in the red side bush, and he gets shunted into a wall and has to flash. Then they run at Haichao, who also has to blow his flash at level 1, gets late to lane. And then EDG try to punish by going for a red buff invade, and it goes 3 for 2 in favor of LNG because Haichao teleports in.
Okay, so we were talking about EDG potentially needing early advantages to make this composition work. 2 kills onto a Varus definitely help. Wall stun.
There's a gravity field as well, just get over the wall.
Gravity field wasn't on target, so while there is a gravity field, it's actually not under the Pantheon, so it doesn't work out, sadly. That's the combo you need to try and work out. Your actual CC is not that easy to get on target. Angel needs to do a little bit better with that W placement. Wanted to put it down in advance so it could kind of start ticking already. Quite hard to get it fully stacked up onto the Pantheon to actually fully stun him. But they do get the flush out of the Pantheon, which is no bad thing.
Yeah, Palkia has to blow his flash, but hey, I think you're okay with that one. We'll get a bit of a reset. It's worth noting a fairly significant farm lead now for Xiaofeng, basically because Xiao Hao sacked a whole side of his jungle to make that invade happen, and it didn't work. So he's now down effectively 20 CS, which is rough. Good stun there. Onto Jaw. Actually, I think he might be in danger here. Needs to be a little bit wary. Can't chase up for too much more. Put the ward down. Xiaofeng at level 6. He's 2 levels up right now on Xiao Hao. Angel gets hit by the shockwave. Chunks him out. Forces the wave to come on in. Angel going to be trapped under his turret here.
Xiao Hao, yeah, magnificent play in that last game, and we were saying, you know, best jungler in Group Nirvana, XYZ. Getting behind like this on the early game powerhouse of the Xin Zhao is really not a good thing. We talked about this with Tian the other day, actually, when he had a poor early game on the champion. I think he ended up going something like 1-5 or something on it, sadly, for him. If you're behind on a champion like Xin Zhao, your usefulness does run out quite quickly, sadly. But you're forced to blow your ultimate very defensively. Where, well, not defensively, you know what I mean. But forced to blow it before you're actually, before the kind of prime time for it. I still think that EDG have good frontline going later into the game because they have that sense and have the ability to kind of eject people out with the Poppy. The Shins have temporary frontline, but EDG, their problem will be about finding fights themselves. It kind of is on Palkia doing his doing his best to get random wall stuns and the likes. Not like anyone else can really do that much. Varus all aside.
That we might. On Palkia in the mid lane, getting a bit of CS. I was going to say wave control, that's a lie. They were clearing the wave under the turret. That's not control.
On those bits of the map, Angel and Haichao neither will have flash. They're just laying up against each other in the bot side. 10 CS lead for Angel, the victor of the Orianna. It's not bad, you know. It's really not bad. The Orianna has the kill, so they managed to get... I suppose that's where they end up getting... Because you did talk about the teleport, but still, you know, Angel still getting that 10 CS lead, and still important, I think, when you have Victor who's going towards the Rod of Ages. If you go towards Rod of Ages, Leandries, and then whatever comes in third after the point, I think Bloodletters is fine. I think that Riftmaker or Zhonya's are both fine too. Angel's going to be a real pain to deal with in late game. I don't actually think they have the best burst damage to deal with the Victor, as long as everything isn't piled onto him.
Alright, ZDZ now potentially in danger. Let's do some value back, crash down, moves away, Pathmaker used, not all that much to go as the all-out comes on, and actually that's going to be enough. Oh my days, the Comet Spear, but he manages to buy enough space.
The W for the damage reduction, so is just about okay there. Xiaofeng only at level 7, so doesn't have the max level Q, nor first full item, means that damage isn't quite there. Xiao Hao will take
bot tower. Bot dragon, however, on the top side, tower was getting pushed a little bit. 3 grubs for LNG will give them the ability to damage that a little bit more. Zahn does the dick move of denying a CS with that by body blocking the Jin W.
Okay. Was it a cannon?
No, it's a regular move.
Oh. Yeah. It's still good. But it's not like premium minion.
Poor Fish 1 is still down. Yeah.
Oh, it's a miserable.
9 on 20 CS.
Yeah, you needed to cleanse that because the blight stacks would have been a dead Fish 1, I think.
Yeah, he just cast the W on the Varus. You can see on the hotbar on the bottom left. It's about a 40-second cooldown, but which is very long, of course, for a basic ability. But those the empowered Varus arrow with that W goes crazy.
Is it just named Blight?
Blighted Quiver.
Blighted Quiver, that's the one.
Yeah, it gives you the blight stacks. Yeah, pretty good. Chucker. Ooh, there is no all out on ZDZ, so you can't really threaten here. And there is a Dominus on the other side. But honestly, ZDZ's not trading bad here.
No, he's not. Doing the best he can with that one. Again, down about 10 CS, but hey, it's Renekton into Cassante. That's somewhat expected. Let's put 2 fine points on it.
Question in chat: do you think that BLG will give top esports their first L today? They look like a completely different team with Shadow. Well, we shall see if the honeymoon period has, if it continues, or whether it's something perhaps a little bit more than that, or not at all. And it is just a honeymoon period, and it fizzles out. Sometimes does like that. The top esports have not looked the most confident. Flash over the wall from Parakia comes in.
They get jumped on briefly, but they are managed to get a bit of value back. Parakia may need to just back away here and go looking for the potential to engage, but they just have to leave.
I mean, he just doesn't press the W. He just doesn't press W. If he does that, then it'll stop the W of the Pantheon coming in, and the crash down, in fact, gets hit by both dash abilities backwards. Not great there from Okay, that's what you're picking the champion for in a lot of ways. Fight over the bot scuttle now.
Alright, gonna try and turn this one around. Palkia's still there. Arn also around. Flash on forward. Doesn't press the W again. Shockwave comes on down and Palkia's just dead. They do turn it around, so it ends up being support for support. But again, I'm not quite sure what's going on with the steadfast presence activations.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered there because it's the flash Q from the realm, so it ended up being the stun, which meant then he was a CC locked after as the shockwave came through. That one I think is less on him because you know, the flash Q from the RAL, it's a blink forwards with that stun, makes it a lot harder to outplay. Still, LNG showcasing that they do know how to outplay the Poppy.
Indeed, I think the first one, they didn't know that Xiaofang was in the bush. So just walked up on right to the Pantheon off vision and just get stunned from off that. But either way, awkward stuff from EDG, really. They don't really get what they're looking for. And we said, look, the engage, a bit circumstantial. Haichao getting shunted back towards Angel, but has got phase rush and command dissonance, so just walks out of the gravity field.
He's still chunked down by half HP. It's not like Palkia had his ult, so you can't really overforce there. Angel happily farming up. 20 CS up now, basically. After he clears out that wave, will be about. As the Rod of Ages completion, they'll be stacking up other side of the Seraphs. Starting to take up now for Haichao. Had that here already. Completes that through. Slowly start getting towards that Seraph shield a little later. Even in gold overall. Dragon's side of EDG. Grubs to the side of LNG. 2 minutes on the next Dragon. So fairly even as far as early game goes. Especially compared to the last one where it felt like EDG got ahead quite early. Especially in that jungle matchup. Found it very hard, did LNG fight back into that game.
I think this time Xiaofang's up. 25 CS, gets a lot of value having survived the flash being down, but I think that red buff invade going so poorly has just meant that EDG's early game's been very stymied, bluntly. Got the Varus ahead, and that is good news. 3 kills on your Varus, up 800 gold, got the Ghost Blade early. Can get a lot of value in this game. I think there's not going to be too many heavy armor stackers. We've seen some defensive boots from the Jhin, partly to manage the fact that the Varus is going to be throwing out arrow after arrow at him. But yeah, being down 20 CS or so does suck. Alongside, of course, those extra couple kills for all that Fish wanted. Get involved in the early scuffle in the jungle well enough. Dragon spawning in 50 seconds, and EDG, if people are coming into them, well, then the CC becomes a bit easier for them. Everyone's got a little bit of incidental CC in the game. It's just not Nautilus, shall we say, which is a lot more simple to get value out of.
Yeah, and you have to work harder to actually get that stuff starting. The steadfast presence used early here. And the poke Varus is going to start really hurting now.
Yeah.
One of the problems with having something like a Renekton and Rel frontline is they are not tanky enough to deal with Varus poke. Not really. Renekton heals with his Q, and his Dominus gives him extra HP. He's not really an armor stacker. He doesn't get infinite amounts of HP, so the poke Varus is really happy to do damage like that, and it does stop that recall there as well. Arn's been doing a ton of work, and 1,000 gold lead on the Varus is not something you can really let sit as
as LNG.
Like, reminder, this is a first pick, first ban champion. Like, we see this champion taken a lot for good reason. You get so much lane control, you've got pick with it, you can build it multiple different ways. If you do get ahead, you are a carry threat. You've got so much value in this champion. Just in terms of the flexibility of playstyle, just the raw numbers.
Right, Shao's going to be spotted in this Red Rush, actually. Ouch. QE comes through. Dragon started. EDG could teleport in with Xante and try and fight for the second dragon. I think they're happy fighting. I think they're happy waiting a little bit, pushing in lanes where they can, get a bit of map control first, especially because they are lacking engage, as we've been saying. What they really want is an opening on a side lane, which makes their objective control just a little bit easier later into the game. So if they can push in towards top side, get Xante damaging that tower, get Victor, you know, farming safely in a side lane, it gives them a few more options later into the game. Don't get that much damage on the top tower, which is a bit sad for EDG. It's only a slight tap, really.
Just like 2 autos off, unfortunately. I'm not sure we've got a full demolish down as a little bit of trading happens. It does allow the wave to get shoved, because again, the Xante had been a little bit behind. Renekton, in fairness to Zucker's been playing this one out well. He's gone towards the early Black Cleaver as well to mitigate the armor stacking. I think that's quite sensible when you've got triple AD threats on your side. And of course, it's a Jhin as well who's gone towards the Ghostblade build. Like, it's not like you're seeing crit and Lord Doms and stuff coming in early either.
Yeah. Shockwave does catch Angel under the tower. Doesn't have a Q target, so we will take 2 tower shots from him, which is a bit annoying for him. Herald now started. Orianna was channeling the recall first. Victor might have the minion stop his recall. It's a bad recall, Angel. It means that now he can't teleport up in time. EDG might have to call off the fight. Yeah, LNG pinging that too, because Orianna could teleport in. Angel needs to push another wave. Has done now. Orianna going towards top wave. Has the 3 grubs to potentially threaten top turrets. Victor recalling, not threatening bot tap. Teleport in now.
There we go. See what he's got in inventory. Angel now level 11, worth noting. Bigger Arcane Storm to work with.
No Shockwave, remember that was just used bot lane.
Very important that. Palkia looking for an angle, get a bit of a chunk onto Joe, who's looking for that flank on in. Down to 3 HP is the Herald. One of the eyes on the other side. Change the corruption down to Xiaofeng. Looking for the smite fight, taken by Pantheon. Knocked away is the Jhin, but he can still use the curtain call. Is it going to matter though? They kill off Jaw, and the eye of the Herald is there. And that's feat of strength for LNG as they just win the smite fight.
Spooky damage check from EDG to LNG. LNG end up taking a ton of damage, and they didn't have the Shockwave to hold a choke point. LNG, if they sit in an area, they can look for rel flanks, control one bit of the battlefield with the Shockwave, and hope that the Jhin can follow up too. Because they didn't have that Shockwave, didn't do part of that, and EDG managed to force quite aggressively. Fish one was ejected out of the fight, as you mentioned, too. 1,000 gold down, 30 CS, a couple of kills. Arna's been winning this AD carry matchup hard.
I might just be missing a new item or not knowing the icon particularly well, but what was the backpack item that Poppy just picked up?
Yeah, it's the Trailblazers, blah blah blah. It does.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's the it is and it has been around for a while. It's
It's not that commonly picked up.
I can't actually remember the effects because I only remember seeing it every so often. It does get picked up in stuff like Ral and Poppy sometimes. It's not the Solstice Slay, which again gives you some move speed and blah blah blah, but boring righteous glory, right? Good to know. Palkia, well, he might need to, he doesn't have his ult to use it here. Gonna get popped, presumably here.
What comes the Varus, but to what end? I think the God of Space has been squished.
Yeah, I'm going to be put into his own little pocket dimension. The vision control from LNG was good around the bot side. Gets them a free pick, and ends up picking that one up. I believe it was it High Chowder? Maybe it was, actually. 2-0-1. But either way, some gold going over towards LNG, and EDG falling behind in the jungle support has made them look a little bit more mortal-like, especially against LNG. It's not a great look, because they are looking like our worst team within Group Nirvana. EDG, again, even in gold, but realistically, you'd expect more from them given the level of these teams.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Of course, you've still got Arn, who's continuing to be a problem. He's got 2 items now. That's good news, but Palkia having a bit of a tougher time. You got to look up Trailblazer. It's kind of a cross between Deadman's and Righteous Glory.
Right.
You kind of get stacks that give you speed, and then you get to sell the next auto, and you kind of get a little trail that people can follow you behind you.
Right. Cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, I do remember it getting designed a little bit. Like, it doesn't have the flash just yet. Doesn't have ult, but...
So, at this point, we have Dragon in a minute.
EDG don't have the side lane advantage to
get good objective control through that either, because there are a couple of ways you get objective control, and ZDZ is going to try and hold his way at the top side. Now going to have to get away from that turret. This is a powerful Pantheon, takes down a decent amount of the HP. Doesn't have Black Cleaver just yet. 3 grubs will take down this turret, and I think EDG have been a little bit bad at cross-mapping when those turrets have been. Hang on a second, this could be a wall stun.
Oh, gonna try and find the angle, get it. There's the cleanse, the flash. Gets out safely. Deadly Flourish wide, but Palkia could be in danger here. Does get hit by 1 shot. 4th body block by Arn.
Xiaohao finding out Draw, who's got Flash, doesn't have heal just yet, forced to use that summoner.
Oh, and the Crescent Guard knocks the side of Xiaofeng away. Arn now coming on over. The Aegis Assault is down. No more defensive tools. Deadly Flourish lands. We'll find the Comet Spear after. But again, EDG, nice little pick off there.
Great damage check from Xiaohao. Even though he's behind the game, knows he can get that kill. The Pantheon gets a little bit spooky after that point. A play started by Palkia in the mid lane, forces the cleanse and the flash out of Fish 1, whiffs his own ultimate, which is a bit sad. They tried to get the pop-up. CDZ getting ulted by Xiaofeng topside, and there's no turret this time, so he is, unless he can punt someone through a wall,
Zucker,
quite
maybe?
dead. Zucker, can he get close enough to the wall?
He can!
Why did he stand there?
Oh, that's unfortunate. Still going to get stunned up. CDZ trying to buy some time, but does need to dash quite a long way away and will still go down.
There was a genuine escape angle there because Zucker just went too close to the wall. We've played against Cassante now for 2 years. Come on, you cannot stand next to walls like that. There was a flash on ZDZ. There was a chance he could absolutely make it out of there alive, but with a couple of ultimates put towards topside, Dominus, Grand Starfall, and the Shockwave, he will take him down. Tower and Dragon taken on the other side, though, so EDG do get the better of the whole map play.
They do. And again, Arn is still really making this Jhin have a sad time. Especially now he's had to blow his flash and stuff again. This wave crashing to the top side should still be picked up here. The cannon minion is secured by Angel. There we go. I got worried for a second there. It's all right.
Victor gets a lot of farm during this play. So Palkia comes out of the Fog of War, Hex Flash over, is trying to look for the good wall stun angle, and does get it. Whiffs the ultimate just after, though. It's a good cleanse flash. If he hadn't pressed that cleanse flash in time, would of course died. And then, yeah, good play from Xiaohao to cancel the crash down over the wall, forces the flash out, and yeah, good on him noticing that he can get that full kill combo down. Red buff ticking. Not that strong as an early game. Shinzao's fallen behind a good amount of gold, but great kill angle from him.
I appreciate the Crescent Guard angle there afterwards saying, I can just knock this Pantheon away. I've still got this. It does a really good job there. We've got 4 minutes till the next dragon now. Of course, EG just picked that one up as we were mentioning. Xiaofeng trying to defend his own jungle here a little bit. It's been a much slower game. The gold remains a lot more even. At this point, I think start saying, look, I think we favour LNG as the game goes on. I can sort of see why, honestly.
But when you're 1,000 gold down, use your Shinzao, I don't think there's much
Yeah.
argument against that. Flash away from Xiaofeng, great reactions.
Oh, trying to make the turnaround happen. The steadfast pressure comes on through. Poppy throws out the keeper's verdict, but the shots are coming. Misses at least one. 4th shot goes wide, but Haichao sped up with the phase rush and just run at the Poppy.
I actually think EDG had a winning angle there. The double Poppy ult could have led to some great things, but EDG backed off thinking the play was lost. Great reactions from Xiaofeng to flash away from the Poppy, and this is the problem of having so little engage. You are not good at cleanly closing down your first target. It is on Poppy just flying into Hell's Mouth and seeing what can happen. Right there dies again, but I'm not blaming Palkia that much. It's just the only person that can look for those kind of plays.
It's really tough. Otherwise it's a 3 talent strike knockup. It's a Chains of Corruption. It's a contest onto this Atakan is what's actually happening on screen right now as well. LNG do take a fair amount of damage. Arn is just so threatening.
And the Atakan is now actually still leashed. It's getting his patience back. I think they can go for this. Xiaofeng has ultimate to come back into the play if he wants, but he's low HP if he doesn't get to regen. Xiaohao, yeah, I think they can look for this.
Trying to turn around a little bit. Zucker now chunks as well. Xiaofeng, remember, at 20% HP, he can get body block very easily here as Palkia's keeping him away. On! No! How did that happen? All out on the other side of the Jaw, but it's only Joy. They should be able to kill him off. Xiaohao with the Crescent Guard proc. That means the Atakan potentially go the other way. Your key damage member down. Flash on forward. Slice, dies. Zucker tries to get the kill. Can't quite do it.
And the Atakan is still getting leashed. There's a Chaos Storm dropped onto Xiaofeng. He can't smite anymore. And EDG, though they fumble a bit into that fight, end up getting the objective somehow, some way, and they have HP to continue the fight. Angel walking around the side.
Xiao can look to go on forwards, misses the wind, becomes lightning, won't quite find it.
I have no idea how that fight turned out, as messy as it was. I think EDG had some clear win conditions after the initial leash was taken. They managed to keep the Atakan aggroed while it had about 2/3 health remaining. We'll get a, and this is what's happening here. But then Arn just get, I mean, guys,
Shockwave?
they just get hit by an unassisted Shockwave. This is unacceptable. Gets hit by the Jhin W, so it's not, he had the cleanses, flashes late, dies to the burn, and Arn, you have to do better than that. You were doing so well at the start of that fight, using both summoners suboptimally.
caught out by the surprise burst of the Jhin into the Orianna. We expect more of them. EDG, you know, huge win streak for them currently within Group Nirvana, yet to drop a game. But moments like this put that a little bit into question.
Pantheon ended up being forced away though, because Angel just got to mess them up. Did a lot of work there by pressing R. And again, like, EDG, we're saying they have no CC. And what we're saying in a lot of ways is it's not easy CC. Poppy is the only one with convenient CC. Like, Chains of Corruption is good, but you often need some setup for it, or you need to just free ball it well. Sante can do if he's got a good flank, gravity field, but it takes time to arm. Shinsa can get in, pressing guards okay, 3 Talon Strikes alright, but again, like, you need to stack it up. It's not like I press one button and it's in.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, if you consider a champion like Ziggs, there's a fun kind of comparison there too, where Ziggs has always had some of the best DPS in the game. He has also rarely been played because you need a lot of setup for him. Now, in games like this, that can, in pro play, convenient CC is the backbone of League of Legends in a lot of ways. When you have Leona Nautilus, ever since 2020 onwards, really, those champions have been flitting in and about the place. Stuff like the Alistar and their Khan have been so convenient too. Baron is now spawned, Dragon up in 10 seconds, will be third for EDG if they were to get it, and they are at the objective first for once. This is what we wanted to see before. LNG will now need to try and fight for a bit of territory around this. EDG getting into River first is really bad news for LNG. You start poking up with the Victor, start poking out with the Varus as well, and they will have to be the ones going into the plate. They do have a Ryle on the flank who has flash. This is a good angle for Drop.
Try and make it happen. Renekton in the picture-in-picture, trying to make things happen. Now TPing and looking to turn this one around. Short, potentially in danger. He's been collapsed on. Good double Shadowing Strike. ZDZ, though, trying to find some angles on the other side as Zucker just gets eviscerated. Shockwave comes on forward, but it doesn't really lead to all that much. Xiaofeng now in danger himself. The Aegis Assault just runs out of juice. Oh. And they turn back onto the Dragon.
Well, the damage from Arn in that play was absurd.
Wow.
It's sometimes hard to track which character is doing the damage, but when you see those arrows popping onto someone on 2 different sides of the fight, you go, well, that's got to be the Varus. Arn ended up doing a ton of work with his ultimate onto the TPing Renekton, who teleports into the midst of the team, and this Renekton cannot defend against it. EDG will break open the game from here. They get to the objective first, they stand their ground, they manage to disengage well, which is something their competition absolutely can do well, and with the success of that, will gain the Dragon and the Baron.
Yeah, when they don't have to go forwards, this comp looks so much easier. Onto Baron they go. Yeah, also did pick up Atakan, it's worth noting as well, so this will now be another one of those significant buffs to pick up. Haichao at the very least going to pick up the tier 1 bot side. You take what you can get, and this Ori is at least 4-0. Some stacks on the Dark Seal. Maybe there's a way back in through finding a good Shockwave.
And again, if you're one of those people that goes on the Reddit post-match threads, I do not want to see any of you. Sam does his daily mic punch as his tradition.
First of the day.
I do not want to see anyone typing about Haichao being bad. Haichao's series hit, look, he's had other series which are bad. You can blame him for those. This series hit, the Talia, the Orianna, he's getting the damage down that he can, and he's doing it very, very well. He's made game-changing shockwaves happen. Just LNG as a team are not setting up that well for objectives, and their team fights have left a fair amount to be desired. Draw on that angle, not finding the big engage is really, really sad. I think EDG responded to it well, but LNG are not approaching team fights well. They're not getting that clean engage down, which their draft is better at doing than EDG's.
Agreed. Fish 1 eats a fair amount of damage there. 3 items on the Varus. Probably use something like a Cyrilda's or something just to give himself a little bit more pen now that we are getting a little later on, but at the moment he just gets to hit very hard with his W presses at the very least. Zaka in that flank angle immediately warded away. The Renekton's time of power, it feels like, is beginning to dwindle a little bit. You already said, look, their tankiness is a little bit of a paper tiger in this game. There's so many ways to deal with a HP stack over anything else.
We have... Wait, in terms of tiger champions, Rengar is the closest, but he's more like a lion, right? No, actually, no, he is actually a tiger, thinking about it. The facial features of Rengar are actually more like a tiger.
I've always had him more lion-like.
I did, because that's the coat. That's the coat.
He's got the mane.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he has the. Yeah, but then tigers can have that kind of. That's true, maybe. And then obviously it's a lot more like Predator from the Alien.
Yes, obviously, yeah. Obviously.
Again, a lot of people just do not recognize that.
It is
Kha'Zix and Rengar are literally meant to be Alien versus Predator, and it's not that subtle, folks.
In the jungle, your teammates can't hear you scream like, "Please come and defend me! Rengar's trying to kill me."
You mean on side lanes, no one can hear your ADC scream. Flips around them quite nicely. Oh, hang on, here comes the Pantheon ult trying to catch out the... Oh, everyone else had recalled. Everyone else had recalled, and the poor Varus will pop cleanse. and die on the retreat, shut down, going over to the side of Pantheon.
Great timing on that pickup. Again, it doesn't really lead to all that much right now, but you take what you can get.
So Arn fought out again there. I think he's been doing fantastic damage, but it's not been a flawless game. Not a great set of
deaths
recalls
he
for
had
him.
most recently have been ones that you go, that one was a bit foolish.
Yeah.
I have more forgiveness for that one. That one felt a little bit sad. Everyone else recalls just a second before. You should still recall on time.
Yes,
but still.
No, that's the thing. Like, you might have more forgiveness. I don't, because that is a simple thing to get right. Just be like, they can force with ults, press B at the same time. It's quite easy to do so, or at least have someone cancel their back and make sure that the AD carry is never the last one recalling.
You may have a point.
Baron's now falling off. Let's be honest, EDG wouldn't have been able to use the rest of this Baron buff anyway. They'd call it quits there, get themselves the recall. Arnold will be back onto the map. It's not the most consequential death. It's not like LNG can do that much. Does give them a shutdown. Pantheon, who was ahead 1.5k, went down a little bit of gold. It's now back to even. Xiaohao's done a great job of slingshotting back into relevancy.
We've been asked a hard question in the videos chat by AntDog. Who's going to win between this LNG and our 1-20 DN freaks? Did not finish.
God, it's the stoppable force versus the movable object, isn't it?
Yeah, there's just a pair of coughing babies.
Coughing baby versus coughing baby. Hydrogen atom versus hydrogen atom.
You've got soul in 40 seconds. Maybe I'll let you brew on that. We can have that conversation a little later on. LNG, we meme a little bit. It's been a bit sad to watch. That's why you have to find some humor somewhere, because LNG just don't look very good. It has to be said.
Finally, worst stand. You know, the meme of the scientist with the vial discovering something.
Oh, no.
Okay, 20 seconds till Dragon, as you were saying. That would be Ocean Soul for EDG, which would be a royal pain in the arse for LNG. Teleporting from Xante will be one of the biggest beneficiaries of that. Let's see how the poke lands. LNG needs to control the choke point exactly like this.
Oh, that's nasty. Power's going to have to flash away. Does so, but now EDC on the other angle, potentially looking to come and interrupt someone. Won't quite do so. That's going to have to be the reset of Power Cube. Does not have a spellbook to come rejoin.
Exactly what they need to do. Control the choke point with the shockwave. Now, they don't have the shockwave. Again, now it's the problem. Zucker's on the flank. EDG, they still need to get that poke down. Palkian cancelling his recall, not wanting to regen and come in late to the fight. Still has his ultimate to be impactful.
Xiaohao. The Zucker's managed to get into another good bush there. I don't know whether it's going to change all that much. A lot of wards behind. Xiaohao's a known quantity.
Joy's on the flank.
They know he's there now. Now looking to potentially get on towards the Dragon. Jaw on the flank. Does get on in. That's not the best angle as Angel goes gone. Knock away on the flanking. Renekton. He doesn't get in. Now the damage goes on to Haijiao, who's broken apart. Over the wall goes Fish One, but he's taken hook, line, and sinker. Ocean Soul for EDG, and Fish One's out on dry land.
EDG find the angle, as they are also anglers of Fish One, and chase him down at the end. The great Poppy ultimate saves the double flank from being potentially very threatening onto them. Zucker not able to impact that fight because of that Keeper's verdict. Does a great job at making sure that it's not a double flank. And once again, Dwar trying to get the big flank, doesn't get the follow-up he needs. It's a great combo angle from him, but Angel goes golden. There's a W. Renekton's punted out. The disengage, very good for EDG. This is why we've said the whole game, if they get to the objective first, you're in a bad spot. LNG could not afford to let them through the choke points, which they did. And on retrospect now, I think actually using that shockwave in the way they did was a mistake. They needed to hold it for a more valuable moment, and LNG, clearly their objective setup has just not been good enough for the compositions on display.
Not today, at the very least. They have been struggling. 0-4 and EDG again, yet to lose a game this split. They are 9-0, 4-0 in series. This has probably been our least convincing game from them, and even then, actually, when they have been able to play their way, it's still been pretty solid. It's just been not as easy for them to pull off, I think, and
credit to them where they've fallen behind the game and still had the wherewithal to stand and fight in the right way. They fought back in the correct way. Xiaohao going forwards does have the Ocean Soul, does have the Sundered Sky, and he's going to heal like a motherfucker.
Oh, yes, he does. Haijiao says bye, Chao. Still got a GA to work with. The Arcade Storm is rocking and rolling. Xiaofeng flashes away. ZD's here in the backside. He's gone all out. Just this once, Master. Knock up the Grand Starfall. Looks like a firework failing to get into atmosphere. It's just not quite burning bright enough, is it? The incandescence. A flutter in the flicker in the wind. Zucker will slice away, but we know what those dice are rolling. It's natural one, Snake Eyes. Wind becomes lightning, audacious charge, still up and available. Second wind becomes lightning, gets sliced away from again. And he's just going to buy some time. The Xiao's like, no, let me get this kill.
Zucker will try and get his way back to base. I don't think he'll even be able to teleport out. If he does teleport, he's dead. He's a dead crocodile anyway. That will be 10-0 in games for EDG. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and yet one more 2-0 to end off their first 5 series.
In the death of the splits, 2 down for EDG. They find themselves in Nirvana. In the afterlife of the LPL, they are doing just fine. A split from them so far. How far can they roll? They are the best team in Nirvana. Exactly where do they slot in the grander scheme of the LPL?
That's the question, isn't it? Another bitter loss for LNG on their own stage. Of course, one of our 4 teams with arenas themselves. They have Suzhou, LNG, as they try to recover something. This is a team that has been world staples. They've been in finals not too in distant past. 2023 summer was their real high point with Tarzan and Scout. God, how good those players were back then. And they've really struggled at that point. EDG on the other side, it's been a while since they can consider themselves genuine contenders, I think. And I think we're not quite at that point because we haven't seen them enough versus, sadly, the top teams. But 23 spring was the last time EDG were a really relevant team. 2024, they had the Doom squad with a whole bunch of players which have gone on to be better after that team. You know, players like Solar Kill, Vampire, what have you, leave as well. All of those players have done better. Perhaps Clearlove, the one member of that team, you think, perhaps a little. We could bring back Fisher. We could have Fisher and Fish 1. That'd be wonderful.
Cast a fish.
But EDG are finally back to a point now where I think that, yes, actually, I do believe this team could achieve something. I think that they could be potent in playoffs. Now, I don't think that makes them top 4, but I do think that, as it stands, LPL, the top 4 is in flux, and there's enough time left in the year, and enough gas left in the tank for things to get interesting.
Exactly that. What I will say is anyone who's seen these style of formats before, be that in LDL, be that in, I suppose, LPL earlier in the split, anyone who's seen these split group scenarios before, you can have a team that is by far the best in Nirvana, go into playoffs, win a series against one of the teams that's struggling in Ascend, and then they meet someone middle of the pack or higher, and the things that were not punished at a Nirvana
because we just
level,
didn't see them. We didn't have the tape on it.
Yeah, suddenly gets taken apart because we've not seen them against anyone's legend. We have not seen them against top esports. We've not seen them against IG, right? Like, you come on in and Palkia sometimes somehow has to deal with knocking away the Shy, who actually flashes the Poppy ult, and you go, oh no. And then
the laning phases, which looked pretty good before, start to fall apart. Someone like ZDZ weirdly has contested with top teams before occasionally, you know. He was on Weibo where they 2-0'd JDG in dominant fashion in regular split 24 spring. That was a good moment for him. He carried those games too. He walked away with double MVPs from that series. One of the better series I remember from him. These players do have an upper ceiling. Xiao as well, I believe in that. An also, I think, is a player which I believe in. I'm a little more agnostic. I mean, of course, Angel's a freaking Worlds finalist back in 2020. Yeah. These players, besides Palkia, have a lot of tape on them, so we know that they can do it. But you know, there was some people talking about how DNF, the LCK team that's struggling right now, have a lot of players that should be mid-table, but working together, they end up kind of
worse than some of the parts. Yeah,
it's quite hard to get actual, genuine, good tape on them. Anyway, that's going to be our first series today, folks. Next one is the huge one, BLG versus Top Esports. Two of our most dominant teams of recent years now playing off against each other for our second series of the day. And you know what that means, folks. We have a little bit of a break. Get into it. Sam, do you want to have a crack at trying to set up TikTok scene?
Yes, I can do that.
Because you are the one that was going to...
Let me have a look and see what I can do. Yeah. Let me run to the bathroom and I'll make sure that I can done in the background.
We've got a little bit of time.
I'll see what we can do for that.
Cool. Right, let's go play some horse game for now. And we'll put on ad break as well. Worse than the sum of their parts, yep, the classic. Occasionally have teams like that, it's always a sad occasion. But... we have scheduled race today, don't we? Okay, so let's think about what we want. Are we going late Surger? We want fighter. We actually want all of these, maybe. Maybe not all of them right now. We'll do both of these. And we're gonna have to start running late Surger for like harder races. Can we do another one of these? It's 40% off. Hard to turn that down, actually. Oh, screw it. We'll go for it now. We don't have enough skills to activate... we don't have enough skills to activate Tells Hellfire yet, which is a problem.
And now we just look to see how many people are in each bracket. Because if there's a ton of people in late Surger, we might not want to do that. Yeah, we'll run it from pace because there's only 2 here. And I think with Fighter, we're better at running out of hard packs like that. But yeah. Bracket 9's not bad. No late start, it's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're in a good spot. So one of the things about running campaigns is you need to be a little bit flexible on which style you run. Because you do not want to be running into like 9 late surges as it is here. And I think it is random basically per run you do. I've never seen it where everyone's running in one style. I've never seen that, which would be very funny. We should be fine here. We should just outstat them at this point, really. We didn't get rushed, we didn't get late start. Yeah, easy stuff. Stay away, gold ship. Gold ship. Nice. Weibo's better than EDG? Weibo aren't awful. Yeah, they're pretty good. We got ourselves some extra fans from that, which is nice. We do this, I guess. We take a rest from here. We can do this for... We can actually do this, I think, actually. This would have been really nice to get. We'll rest. I really want to get mood up. But I've had like 2 mood down events. Mood went down again? Why? Oh, whatever. I'll just do recreation now then. And we get karaoke. Okay, cool. It was me last night. And we get a claw machine. Cool. Oh, this is like a mini game. You get... If you do a recreation in any year beyond the first, there is a chance that you get claw machine. Oh, this one's really hard to get though. You don't know how to grab these ones. Okay, that's good. Aw. That's 3 of them? Oh, what? Goodbye, other 2. But yeah, the better you do the game, the better the rewards you get. There are some things you can see, like this one is clearly stood on top of another one, which is kind of funny. It means you can get 2 in like 1. Xiaohao gets MVP. Double MVP for Xiaohao. Oh, oh, come on. You kidding me? Fuck off. Do we go for the big one? Maybe we just go for the big one here. Is that too far? I think that's too far. Yeah. Fucking hell. But like, what do you mean I pick up 2 3-1s and it drops all of them? Okay, whatever, it's fine. Could be worse, I guess. This is okay, at least. This is second in the swinging maestro chain. I mean, I guess we go for this, but it doesn't feel fantastic. Why do you get... Why are you so allergic to keeping high mood? Why are you so allergic at this? So annoying, actually. Guess we go with this. It's so annoying, though. Hey, Angie, good to see you. How you doing? Oh, but like we've gone to try and like train for mood up multiple times. These are both late surgery ones, but I don't want to go. I can't go into an 11 pack. That's so ridiculous. We'll just have to go pace. I don't know whether we have the skills to actually do this now. We're basically playing without skills. Because all of our skills are for late surge and not for pace chaser, which we're currently running in. It's a late one. Oh, that's Manhattan. She's our support card. So we are out here, 17. No late start. It's good. I'm gonna run it on 2 times speed so we can get a couple more races in. Oh, frick. When we don't have any... Well, we have our ult, which is regen. Our stamina's not bad. But rushed often means that your stamina starts to drop more, which can be a bit of an issue. Especially because the further up the field you are, the more stamina you use because you push earlier. You have less stamina for the end. That being said, we're actually outstatting the front runners right now. I think we're still okay. What? Who the fuck runs like 11 frickin' late surges? We just had a race with 9 late surges and then a race with 11 late surges. Insane, actually.
Hello， 各位，欢迎来到赛后采访，我是主持人松琪。首先，我们邀请到的是 EDG 的中单选手 Angel， 先跟大家打个招呼吧。
Okay, easy
大家
stuff.
好，是
Okay,
EDG 中单 Angel。
欢迎 Angel， 恭喜你们在今天的这场比赛中又是一个2-0战胜了对手。组内赛的第1轮循环来到了5连胜，气势如虹。这一场的比赛的赛果和你们预料的一样吗？
我们赛前是有预测今天可能会2-0嘛，因为我们觉得最近状态比较好。
比较有自信。那在游戏当中，其实第一局感觉就是体现了你们一个自信的状态，可以说是从杜耶夫的一血开始，整局都游刃有余嘛。我觉得大家的节奏开展比较顺利。
就是我们每次支援团
This one will give them
的战略比较好，因为我们主要是围绕猴子打伤害。
Sasuke shows a pretty hard race.
每个人的定位都很准确。那来到了第2局，我们看到的是对面的阵容上有一个比较大的转变。当你们看到他们选择这套阵容的时候，有什么反应吗？
就是我们选择一个比较扎实的阵容，他们是一个前面进攻比较强的阵容嘛，我们就好好防守，然后等发育到状态比较好的时候就很好打。
大概的预测是这样。那游戏的实际进程当中，可以看到苏州 LNG 其实也是有一战之力的，包括上前面双方的经济差距啊，甚至是他们在局面上一些小小的优势吧。那我觉得比较关键是来到了厄塔的那一波团战，即使你们在 AD 率先较强的情况下，但感觉整个的团战还是有点难拿下。当时那一波大家的工作怎么样？
into the game, you can run it further back, so she saves more
但是我看对面的状态也不是很好，然后我自己前面发育比较好，然后就觉得我们可以接盘那个厄塔汉，然后就靠厄塔汉来做拉扯。
拉扯的时候，一边呢又是在下路和他们击杀，一边又是稳稳的控下了资源。感觉这个维克托在第2局的时候也是打到他的属性打得特别好了。那其实可以感受到的是，现在整个第1轮的循环已经结束了嘛？大家现在的实力和整个组内其他队伍其实是有。
Oh, yep, that does be freezing the PC.
那你们觉得现在大家会不会是
Yeah, basically when Sam turns, oh god, it really upsets the PC when it gets turned off and on.
来应对到后面更强的对手，所以在这一块大家
We are, but
我觉得这个说的是的，然后昨天阿布也给我们开会了，就
yeah, basically
看起来战绩挺好，但是我们还是有很多小细节没做好的。
When
不要关注那么多战绩，就打好自己的东西就好。
专注自身，包括是应对地下来的第2轮的循环以及后面的比赛。那我们聊完你的主业，来聊聊你的副业。今天来到了苏州主场，会不会有新的一期探店视频？跟我们让哥几个精彩抢先看一下，分享一下。
That's a medium.
这个会
Oh fuck it, we'll just figure it out. Wait, do we have the power for this? Yeah, we do. Whatever, we'll just hope it's okay.
那个
账号啊，明白。不管是在 峡谷内也多多支持你和战队，峡谷外呢也可以多多关注到我们 EDG 队员的营业，也期待你们在后续的比赛中有更好的发挥。再次感谢 Angel 来到我们的赛后采访，我们本场的赛后采访到此先告一段落。接下来一起来看一下本场比赛精彩的 spotlights。
I don't know if we have the stats. We didn't run. We got a late start. I think we're pretty fucked in this one. Fight is good with Chubbs. Fight is good.
秒他 ，nice。等看，帮忙打，身杀不容。回来，各位，
We get late surge corners. Yeah, I guess you can turn up on any of the different corners.
能一波吗？我减速了。
Need our ult as well, probably. We don't have the power to make a lot of fights like this. We just didn't roll very well with skills. Corners, please. Our wit's not very high, so it's not going to activate very often. Oh, fuck. I should have gone pace chaser. Yeah, we didn't squeeze. And battle league. Did you like BLGs look good with new jungle? Yeah, I think they probably. Sucks. Fuck. I don't know, we just didn't get good skills, we didn't get some nice or anything like that. Still got a goal, it just sucks finishing top 5 rather than first. So much had to be loot, yeah. We just didn't have enough speed and power. We should have been running the other one this week. We just don't have the speed and power for this shit. Are you allowed to stream LCK replays? Yeah, I can do, but like LCK replays I can do, but I don't. The way that Global League is that you can't do it within 24 hours. That's the way they've done it though. We didn't get Hell High either. Just give me another mode down. No, that's okay. What's up's not bad actually. We were looking for a little bit more down here. Not the medium ones. That is not bad actually. Oh fuck it, we'll figure it out. But that, I mean, it might not actually be good for this race, but that's what it is. It's the medium as well. Cool. Somehow between both chairs, I'm just leaning on one side so I can get closer. Because the microphone's down here. Because that's just the way that we organize it. This is where the thing is up here. So I'm just here, and then I lean to the side here. Because I'm like sat sideways on the chair a little bit. Because the microphone's down here, because we only use, for convenience, we have one microphone between the two of us. It's a little bit annoying, like, finding the best place for the microphone, because we don't want one of us to be louder than the other. Also, like, one thing which is, so, because it's a standing mic, what you also don't want to be doing is, like, when you get excited and energetic, you don't want to be leaning into the microphone, because the worst thing you can do with this is you get louder and lean into the microphone, because that ends up double dipping on the loudness. Getting a good energy level for a call is not about being loud. It's about the intensity of your voice, but actually if you go too loud, it just peaks the mic and it just blows out the sound. We've had to learn how to like position the mic and ourselves in regards to it over time as well. I just don't think late soda's working out. I think late soda's just, I think it's such a bait, but I've now just double dipped in skills towards it, so this is shit. Oh. We didn't get any of our skills again. I don't think anyway. Yeah, I think we're just getting fucked with this. We didn't get tether, we didn't get, I think we get third maybe. Oh, this is so doomed. I don't know, this career is such a wash, I think. I guess now I just try and hunt for, maybe I just try and hunt for loads of, I guess I hunt for career completion and then just run a load of races instead. This is just not a good one. I think just having the B rank in the B rank in late surge is not helping. I don't have enough power and speed for this starlight. Plus just like the RNG with the mood was really shit. Okay, so we've got BLG team list. It's pretty good. Finally get a double power, a double speed rather. Straight away acceleration is actually very good. Born right up is very good. These are good skills. Fuck it, we try it. The fair? No, it's passed. Nice of you. Oh, is that Bin versus 369? Yeah, they played so much against each other. What's the stat here, though, actually? Yes. I already have it in the... So what is this? Oh, is this the... Yeah. Oh, wait, this is rookies. Oh, it was because of the new Ari skin they're talking about. Best Ari players of all time. I mean, in LPL. And I do think that Knight is up there as like either best or second best Ari of all time, I think. I think Faker is obviously up there for his clutch moments and playing it over more metas and blah blah blah, but pretty good actually. Ramp up's pretty good. Is it game 1 of BLG versus TF Top Piece? What's up, Snake? Yes, yes it is. As we see the logos in the background. Yep.
好，欢迎来到我们的前彩环节，我们也请到了 BLG 星际魅族的中单选手 Night 进去我们前彩，来向大家打个招呼吧。
Sorry，
大家好，我是 BLG 的中单 Night。
好，欢迎 Night 啊。那第一个问题也是想问到，最近 BLG 的状态非常不错嘛，也是拿到了3连胜。那从 Night 你的角度当中出发，觉得什么内容做的比以前好了呢？
我觉得我们现在每条舰队线都打得更好了吧，就也打得更团队了，就那种低级失误就减少了。
整体性都有一个提升。那第二个问题也是想问到，滔博最近的状态也是不错的，尤其是小奶油今天中路对线上强强对决，你觉得有什么地方要注意？
因为昨天也和69聊天嘛，他说小奶油现在进步非常快，状态很好嘛，我也想见识一下现在有多强。
哦，对，期待你们的对决，我们也一会儿赛场见。
Yes, it is.
好，欢迎来到我们的前彩环节，我们请来了滔博的辅助选手小航进去我们的前彩，来向大家打个招呼吧。
Hello， 大家好，我是滔博的辅助选手航。
好，欢迎航啊。那第一个问题是想问，今天的对手 BLG 呢也是3连胜，最近状态十分不错，所以觉得哪部分的内容可能要多注意些呢？
Yeah, gonna be a banger, hopefully. I think it absolutely should be. I mean, top piece would have looked a little bit fraudulent, not gonna lie.
然后大概想好怎么去应对。
那第二个问题也是想问到，我们知道你和 On 最早其实都是被胆大心细、爱操作的这样的一个风格让大家所熟知的，所以想问今天下路觉得可能有什么样的火花可以被擦出来？
我觉得今天下路对线肯定是要上强度的吧，然后应该也会为了下路先权，就是会打得很凶吧。
我感觉要上强度了，那也感谢航进去我们前彩，我们也一会儿赛场见。即刻回拳疗愈一下，欢迎来到2025英雄联盟职业联赛第3赛段联华温泉主题日，让我们有请双方战队登场。
Okay, walking out onto the stage. We do not win these, I guess. Even his late surge would do whatever. This campaign was just such a wash. Again, completely obliterated. We got bad rolls. I think I just killed one as well. I shouldn't have gone for this power card. I should have gone for this better output.
中单 Night 下路 Elk 辅助 On。
Ooh, 3 on power, let's go.
接下来让我们欢迎 Top Esports 上单369打野 Kanavi 中单 Grind 下路 Jackie Love 辅助航。
Can we move on down?
LPL 第3赛段常规赛组内赛第3周第7日的第2场比赛，由 BLG 星际魅族对阵滔博即将开始。LPL 无畏进巅峰。
Oh, we even rolled low on the frickin' raffle thing as well. And we get another move down. This campaign is so cursed. This is so cursed. What's up? No, because it's already being used by OBS. Okay. Okay, we should be into draft soon. There's energy. This campaign is going to blow us. Okay, into draft we go. First game between BLG and Top Esports. Our they are both local titans. Both of them have been international staples ever since 2023 for BLG, really. Top Esports had a bit of an off year that year, but have bounced back in 24 and 25 to be international representatives at MSI Worlds First Stand. Couldn't make it through to another MSI, but both of them household names in LPL and globally. First bans, leaving stuff like the Varus and the Rumble both open, Annie Wukong as well. First pick of the Varus or the Rumble looking likely here. It's the Trundle instead. That's how powerful it is. I mean, Kanavi's damn good at it, but you've potentially given over Varus Rumble now, which I think could be a huge draft blunder for BLG. Azir's not bad into the Trundle either, being DPS and also able to skip backwards over the pillar. Azir comes in the cream. Now I suppose they could look for the Jarvan now too, because you can get that Jarvan for the Azir. Wow, okay, alright, no, BLG have basically just said, look, we've cracked the Azir meta. We've got Ziggs into the Azir. We're happy with that now. Jhin into the Varus is a happy nullifier, but Knight was so good in his Ziggs game the other day. Now, you could get the Jarvan into Ziggs and Jhin, which is typically very good, and we've talked about it on stream quite a lot before about the power of Jarvan Azir, because the standard from Jarvan gives 30% attack speed at max rank for the Azir. You hover it, choose not to lock it in, instead go for an engaged support. They go towards the Leona. It's a takeaway from the Ziggs combination. So you can ban away stuff like the Alistar, you can ban away stuff like Rakan, Nautilus, stuff to that end. There is a bit of an issue going towards the Leona into the Trundle though, because the Leona's got a lot of tank stats to steal for the Trundle if they put their W on. Put the W on, Trundle ults him, and that's actually a tank you can use well. Is there any possibility the Rumble might be a little overrated? When you have it with something like the Varus, I think it is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Second round of bans. Jungler's taken away from Kanavi. Pantheon's gone. Do you ban away the Shinzao as well, perhaps? Not that the Trundle hates playing into it, but it's... You ban the Jarvan if you think it's a problem into your backline. I don't think it's a problem for the jungle matchup, but can be a bit of an issue for later team fighting. Leona Jarvan, Jarvan Azir, both pretty decent combos. Shinzao banned away. Prefer to get rid of the early pressure from Kanavi, who's very good at playing around that. Very good at playing around that. Can't remember if Trundle can put Leona into negative resists. I mean, if you're running Aftershock, I think it's more of a possibility. If you do Eclipse, Aftershock buffs them both up, both of them fall off, then you can sometimes fall into it, fall very low. But I don't think it, well, with Leona not running Aftershock, I don't think that's really a possibility anymore. Nidalee locked in for top esports. Now, is that going top lane, or is that going jungle? Presumably it's going into jungle, because the Nidalee does bully out the Trundle. Trundle hates playing against farming AP junglers. Hates it. I'm surprised we didn't see an angle before of early Trundle picks being countered by AP junglers like Zyra or Nidalee. Even stuff like the Brand, because the Trundle can't run at them. The Pillar's good against them, but you do get outvalued, you get out-farmed very, very quickly by those AP junglers. Nautilus locked in is one of the better CC combos for the Ziggs. It's not a bad matchup into the Leona as well. You can cast Hook when the Zenith Blade is cast. You can bop the Leona back weirdly, and you just walk backwards, and you tend to be fine after that. And the Rumble goes over to bin, all things said and done. Now you do have a Rumble into a Varus. That's pretty good. Even into the Leona, it's not bad either, because it's a low mobility support. You need to hit your E. that jungle pick is you. I mean, I think it's good into the Trundle in isolation. And you have it with a Leona and a Varus, which means you have double poke composition. 369, now think about his matchup into the Rumble itself. Xanse, 369 Cassante is goddamn good. It is goddamn good. He had such a good game on it the other day. However, what you've also done by doing this is give Trundle an ult target at all times of day. I don't know if that is the correct decision. You do have a triple long-range composition. You're running double frontline with it. But my worry is you now have, you know, Jhin, Ziggs, which do very well into their opposing numbers at a peak. And Knight is so good at the Ziggs from what we saw the other day. Have an Equalizer to slow people down. Sometimes even Equalizer into the big bomb from Ziggs is enough to remove an AD carry like this, the Varus from the fight. BLG have clearly prepped this Ziggs. Now, BLG don't have a great frontline. The Nautilus isn't that tanky. Rumble isn't at all. And the Trundle, I don't think it's enough versus Azir, Varus, and the Nidalee. If you get hit by a Varus ult, you're dead, man. BLG. More questions about their drafts than I normally have recently. The drafts have been pretty good recently, but this one I think a bit more questionable. Coaches will fist bump. We'll get ourselves onto the Rift. Into the game, BLG top esports, undefeated teams in LPL so far. BLG, honeymoon phase with their new jungler, top esports. Looking shaky in their wins, but they are still very, very strong from their start. Let's hear those Gyos and hear how the crowd feel about the matchup. Where's Sam? Sam is just sorting out TikTok streaming on the other side. Let's hear the rest of those Gyos. Early level. No shenanigans so far. 5-0 top esports are in their first 5 series. BLG missed out the first week and a half, or first half a week perhaps, with their international foray. LPL kind of scheduled things so anyone's legend, and BLG didn't play in the first few days of play. He came back a little later. Knight was very, very good against, I believe, it was Xiao who had that first one. Missing the first bomb of the lane. Well, skill shot actually in the first doubles goes pretty hard here. On just hooks into a wall. He's going to get translated up. On that is not good. You do not want to be missing and hitting the wall. However, the arrow goes wide from JackeyLove, and the second one hits, because of course when you do hit the wall, you get your hook on half cooldown. No cleanse for JackeyLove. Will take the full burn of the ignite. Pull away minion into tower, and despite the hook at level 1 missing, Elkanon end up winning the early level push. Holding on to that 4th shot. Don't want to land a hook onto the tower there. We'll pull you into tower range. Level 2 going to be hits now. So control for bot lane of Elkanon. Good 2v2, especially against JackeyLove and Hung, who have been playing well in 2v2s so far. Good victory to get. A little bit of poke down from that W from Jhin. That starts to rack up over time. 4th shot onto tower. Get a bit of damage there. Nidalee clearing very quickly from top to bot side. Well, trying to fight over that bot scuttle. Perhaps they plan for JackeyLove and Hung is to get a bounce back for when Kanavi is on the bot side of the map to fight over bot scuttle. You see that Azir just put a ward into bot side of his own mid lane as well. Poke from Knight doesn't seem to be landing that hard onto Cream right now, given the HP. That's another bad hook there from On. And Bin and On, their duo, 400 games here in the LPL. I believe On joined BLG in, was it 2022 he joined? It was a strange old time for him, because he was blamed for their semi-final loss in one of the big playoffs he had there, because he had a very poor, I'm trying to remember if it was Leona or Nautilus game, where things went very badly for him. Trundle completed the first clear. In bot side for the Scuttle spawn. Azir is coming down as well. Spear lands onto Shadow. And yeah, you don't win against the Nidalee in the 1v1. Another spear lands. Shadow, you can't afford to take that much poke. 2 spears in a row is quite a lot to be giving over. Knight misses one thing. Hunkered flash forward for a Zenith Blade. On goes first. Pillar means that the Jhin W misses. Oh, Shadow hit by 2 spears. And anti-synergy with his Nautilus means that he goes down for first blood. Yes, the honeymoon phase has been good for BLG. On might die now too. L trying to turn around with a bit of damage. Hooks away to the wall. Hung quite low now. Turning damage around to Kanavi. Instead, here comes Knight. Hung low HP. I think Elk actually made a mistake there and changing the damage away through. That is a hook! Jesus Christ! Elk ends it outside around the wall. Ben the Bullet, Angelina Jolie would be very happy and ends up being 1-for-1. Trundle will respawn and go towards topside. And somehow the play ends up being quite even there. Kanavi gets himself bot Scuttle. He might be able to get himself some wards into the enemy jungle or just a bushwhack. Yeah, gets himself a bushwhack to help. Will recall in the enemy jungle. Shadow will get himself his Scuttle. But make no mistake, that play around the bot side was on Shadow's micro misplay. He'd just been hit by 2 spears right here. On lands the hook, and then Shadow pillars Kanavi out of the Jhin W. Gets hit by the Leona because he flashes late and then dies. That is bad play from Shadow. He's had a great entry towards BLG, but the honeymoon period has always been question marked if it is honeymoon period. Elk turned a bit of damage around onto Kanavi. They're supposed to stop follow-up onto On. That hook is insane. His hooks have been flip-flopping a little bit. Gold lead now even. Kanavi on top side. Potential of Cassante looking to start a fight there. What's up with this new Ziggs log? Ziggs has always been good into his ear. Always been good. Knight is good at the Ziggs, and it deals with their Azir problem, which Knight doesn't love to pick. I mean, he can play it. It's just not what you want to see him on. I'm much less of a hater of Knight's Azir than many other people. I think people go overboard, but it's definitely not a pick you want to see him on comparative to many others. Bin just hits level 6 now. We'll use that to not clear out the wave fully. And he'll get the Flame Spitter on anyway. Fast close the wave. We'll go back. Not running the first strike, but has Inspiration secondary with the triple tonic. Knight not actually doing that well into the lane here against Cream. Cream's been dodging out a lot of the skill shots. Perhaps Cream is more practiced at this matchup. And Knight, I suppose roaming away from that play in mid lane meant that Cream got a slightly better reset. Behind about a wave since Knight was called away to that all the way to the tri-brush. Shadow will spot the ward in the brush. Shadow down towards bot side. Eats another spear. Kanavi's Nidalee has been very, very good in the past. I believe we have ourselves a live TikTok stream as well now. Ain't that crazy? We changed out the format a little bit. Let's fight in the bot side river. Kanavi taken low. However, CC time to land. Hung going forwards, dropping the Ignite onto Shadow. Is there any more CC to land onto him? I don't think it's going to matter at this point. Top Esports walk away with Kanavi still on the map. Getting the bottom Scuttle potentially on spawn here as well. BLG not winning the bot side 3v3. Shadow has been, yeah, been a bit niddled in the early game. We did say that the Trundle struggles against AP farmers. And has struggled here. Got hit by those 2 spears in that first bot river play. Arrow lands onto Elk. Hook lands, however, onto Hung on the other side. Pops the Eclipse. Has the Aftershock, by the way. Not going towards that spellbook. Really wants to be tanky. Wonder if that's a mistake into the Trundle, actually. Again, gives you the chance to give him even more stats on the other side of things. Kanavi still on bot side. CC lands. Is there an ult from Jackal? No, he's not level 6 just yet. Good damage onto On. Will hook away.
Oh, nice job out. Actually, the captive audience potentially got a bit scary there for Jackie, but he'll get away with it. Looking at this again, Kanavi with the Nidalee jungle. Really saying, all right, Shadow, welcome to the big leagues. Let's see how you do. Never an easy game to go up against someone like Kanavi of all people on Nidalee. It's a bit of a challenge, isn't it?
Just for those of you who don't know if he's chat, by Carzel trolls a little bit. He's a bit of a Knight hater, so he puts some messages to that note. Look, you'd learn these things where you're in chat long enough. And Shadow will hit level 6. Kanavi onto the Raptors. Has his red buff stolen away. Shadow doing well to keep up and farm, worth noting. Typically one of those things which can fall behind on very, very quickly. Now we're going to face check into Shadow. Knight coming over. Not that much CC to use. W predicted by Knight. Not going to get that much value. Knight's a little bit behind a Golden Cream. does have that first kill.
He does at that. On towards the grubs we go. I think Cream in general's had a bit of a weird old time of it as late as usual on. We go defend bin on the Rumble. 369 walks into that one. Doesn't get a chance to press the W. Goes all out now, but I don't know how much that's going to save. On the other side, Top Esports looking to engage. Chains of Corruption do land. It's onto the level 6 Shadow, but he just gets pounced on by Kanavi. Flashes into secure. They kill the jungler. But the turnaround from the Ziggs is brutal. Cream completely whips the Emperor's Divide. He does it by 0. 369 on the backside, though. Does at least get one more. Elk needs to keep running. 369 out of mana. Can't get the Q3 until it's too late. All the while, Knight in the river running at Kanavi. Gets satchel charged away from the wall. Needs to keep leaping away. The pounce there. The javelin toss just wide. Knight also out of mana. BLG come away with more kills. I don't actually know where to start with this one.
I mean, Knight, some great micro movement in the play. Ends up sidestepping Cream's ultimate, which is just at the edge of it. Cream misses the hands check, really, onto Knight. And Knight ends up sticking around in the backline, doing very well. As our big matchup between BLG and Top Esports starting fairly effectively as far as things go. 369, not in a great position on. I think he's been moving around the map well. Yes, he missed 1 or 2 hooks in lane, but I really think he's been very impactful. He's been outside of that Shadow. We're seeing the problem of having Trundle as the sole front line, but he's being hit by so much CCs. And yeah, forced to flash again there.
Cream.
Shadow's having a very hard time with things.
He is, but then Cream at the end of it is not having the easiest time. Good work from Knight. And look, we already said that the Trundle can have a bit of a miserable time with a draft like this. You've already mentioned it for multiple reasons. Nidalee in particular, if you are a good Nidalee, much like if you're a good Kindred, can really mess with Trundle because you can ignore the pillar in a lot of scenarios. Or at least make it that you have to be very judicious about when you use it. You don't always get into melee range, which you normally guarantee. You have walls around. These annoying ranged characters with all their dashes get over the walls. And they get very irritating with it all.
So what's this bit meant to be up in the top left-hand corner, by the way?
It's where the camera is. It's where our cameras are when we're off screen, so when you come back on, we select our camera.
Oh, okay, right. Alrighty. Well, sorry, just figuring out TikTok stuff on the side. We've been basically making a scene up on the fly, and hopefully it will end up being okay. Kanavi trying to keep up in farm. I'm just say keep up, trying to get ahead in farm. The Nidalee's not been allowed to get ahead.
No.
Not had access to the enemy side of the map. I think it really helps that Jhin and Ziggs can follow up from such a long range that it's harder for the Nidalee to invade because there's going to be 2 people who are very long. And the bit of the Rumble as well.
Okay, hang on. The pillar comes on down, puts Hung into a potentially difficult position. Tries to get forwards with the Zenith blade, but he's looking very chunked out here. Overcomes Knight. The minefield is down. Little bit of a stun away from Jacula with that satchel charge. Gonna get hit with the Primal Thirst to get a bit of HP, but the curtain's being called means that unfortunately still dies. Double bomb. Oh, the comet.
Wait, the burn. Is there any burn? It's a little bit.
Burn
from the faded ashes. No full Leandre. It's Knight. Great skill shot accuracy. And he's getting the DPS tick up and up. On goes too far that time, but that Nautilus is so crucial to the way they're playing the game. I'm not going to blame him for going too far there, actually.
Really close.
No, honestly, you just need another Jhin shot on target, and that would have made the difference. Knight got that last skill shot. The burn not quite strong enough yet. Worth noting, 6 Dark Steel stacks for this Ziggs. Knight's going to start to really hurt if he wasn't already. And the AP ratios on Ziggs were increased in the last few patches. One of the reasons we're seeing more of it. On's having a great game on the Nautilus. I know that the first hooks of the game were a little bit odd, but honestly, he's been playing so well to start the CC chains up. And even though the Trundle is really struggling, I think this is Shadow's most punished game so far. I really think that Knight and Elk being so strong gives Top Esports a really hard game ahead of them. Anytime they misstep, the follow-up from the Ziggs and the Jhin, which is pretty much always in range, will be very potent.
Yeah, will be. Shadow. Coming on into Cream. We'll get the pillar. Get the Deadly Flourish after, but as well buffered through by Cream. Doesn't really find all that much. You're going to see whether they can find anything there.
There's a comment in chat, which it is a joke, but I think it's an interesting conversation to have around it, saying like, okay, well, you know, tell me the difference between LCK and LPL by looking at the dragons. The reason that there haven't been dragons taken in this game is because the Trundle can't do it against the Nidalee, because the Nidalee can poke out, and Top Esports can't start it, because then you'd be stuck in the objective pit against Jhin and the Ziggs. Everyone has been around bot side river so frequently, no one's had time to go towards Dragon, because both of these teams have very quick follow-up. Top Esports need to be really respectful of the Ziggs coming into the play. He's gone towards the Blackfire Torch first. It's not the Ludens, it's more about the consistent burn. We'll see what he ends up going towards the second item. I would imagine either him or Bin go towards the Bloodletters to open up some extra magic resist shred. I would prefer it on the Rumble, honestly. I think the Ziggs just wants raw DPS, especially given how
much his AP ratios matter, and Bloodletters doesn't have the biggest amount of AP in the game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Blackfire Torch is pretty solid. Collector coming on in as well for the Jhin at this point as well to try and catch out people like that Nidalee and the Azir and the Varus and get value on that. We'll see where things go. Rumble gets to come on forward and get some value in. Does do some work here to get something for people. Finn, Shadow, looking for potential dive here on 369. Gonna get hit by the Equalizer. Goes Pathmakering forwards, goes all out, but it's just back towards the Trundle. Nowhere really for K'Sante to go, and goes down towards Night Ziggs. All the while, though, Kanavi will nab away that dragon, get some value on it, and should feel a bit happier about that one, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Don't need to do much at this point. Knight should just knock down this turret and feel relatively happy about it. Boop, goes that turret. Nice pick up there from BLG. We're going to accelerate a little bit here. Cream should be able to trade it out at least on the other side, but wave dying on them makes things a bit tricky, and there it is again. BLG with that first turret. Win percent looking pretty damn good.
My man 369 going for the 369 and score.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to get a couple more assists. He's got to get a couple more assists on the board for that one. Cream will take the outer turret, and that'll help even up a little bit more individual gold between him and the Ziggs. Ziggs going for a slower burn build. I suppose that matters a lot more when you're hitting the front line, which, if this is going to become front line against front line, when you have the Trundle popping the ult on the K'Sante or onto the Leona, does make a lot of difference. Does mean you're less about hitting the Azir and the Varus themselves, but I guess it's a little harder to reach them when you've got the Nautilus, who can struggle to get a hook onto someone through the front line, especially if K'Sante is just there pressing W on you. It is much more about hitting that front line. You can see that the Varus, though, Jackalov is a very good poke Varus. In fact, I think he might be the best poke Varus within the LPL.
Yeah, we've had that conversation before. Yeah. He's certainly right up there.
We have some good ones, of course, but I think that Jackalov, he's a specialist at it. He's very good at it. Not ahead in terms of gold against Elk, but his damage is still very potent. Herald now started up. Dangerous terrain for top esports. So if you get caught in that pit, there's an Equalizer, there's a bomb location, which is very, very nasty. Good vision control. Can they get any poke on the way in? Perhaps Hun can get a combo out of Fog of War, and Indeed's going to start.
Nice buffer through there from On, but the Solar Flare after the Chains of Corruption means he's now likely in danger. He's got a Spellbook and a Dream. And unfortunately, that fairy tale ends in disaster, Brothers Grimm style.
Herald was taken. On walks up way too late to contest, and he's not tanky. You're not an Alistar or a Rakan that can get out very easily just by being tanky or having a ton of mobility. Hun could go and flash over the wall here. Elk does have Cleanse and Flash. Is there going to be any help? Herald coming in.
Gonna land the Zenith Blade Wolf Cleanse, gets the flash away. Actually, the Empress Divide just wide somehow, some way. And now Cream potentially in danger.
A Spectator bug on the flash there. Did flash in time. The catch is hung out of the back end. Elk outplays, loses the turret, but gets a kill back.
Could be a lot worse. Top esports even up the gold, so there is that. They end up going effectively 1-for-1 in terms of sports, but it gives a lot of time for that Herald charge. Ben trading up against K'Sante here. He's actually down in CS, which is kind of hilarious. Ben not always been the most consistent Rumble, to say the least. Lands the Harpoon there to get some value. Shadow throwing down the Frozen Domain. Pillar is in place. Can't quite get the stop, though, unfortunately. Smite on the slow will force the flash, especially after that Subjugate comes on free.
Yeah, Kanavi on the bot side of the map, so no real contingent. I love how Trundle causes champion models to go, like, flicker between small and medium, by the way. I kind of find that kind of funny. Knight now gets some time to go into mid lane. This will be dead to the Satchel and get taken down here. Tower taken by BLG, very quick response. That's important. Mid lane turret down away from Varus and Azir makes it much harder for them to push up and get value before objectives.
Well, this bot side turret now next on the chopping block. Are they sending Knight down for it? No, they're not. He's Mega Inferno bombing that top lane tower. So it means Azir gets there with his Nash's Tooth and gets to hit it like 3 times before the wave dies.
Yeah, get a little bit of damage, but not that much. And now, since Knight is up there, 369, no flash, has all out. Doesn't really have any way to get out of this. Needs to get someone next to a wall. Doesn't get it.
Very much doesn't. I'm not really sure how much time he's going to buy. There is a teleport coming, but that just looks like a bad TP to me. Hang on. The rest of top esports are coming on in. Where is Knight? Looking to find a potential angle in. The Deadly Flourish lands onto the side of that Leona. The Equalizer isn't bad, actually. Slowing down Kanavi. Cream gets to the backside. Does get onto Elf, who who just stands and delivers. Gets the 4th shot on the Leona. Flash on forward with the jump. Kanavi jumps forward, does get the kill back. Primal Surge healing, but he gets burned out. Flash away from Binky, team alive. And BLG outplay the skirmish.
Even with the Azir turret set up behind BLG on the ruins of their own bot lane outer, it's BLG who end up winning the fight. They didn't even need the Ziggs. Knight thought, well, I'm not going to teleport in because I don't want to just sacrifice a teleport in a bad location while I could be cross-mapping. They win in the 4v4 after they kill the Cassante, and Ziggs get some time alone on a side lane. BLG, massive play for them. You can see there's a bit of a spectator bug there.
Yeah.
Elk ended up flashing the Azir ult very well. There's a wall behind them on the lane. That's an insane curve the bullet again. That's really nice from Elk as he gets that last kill.
Great.
Deserve a little bit more than that. He's been doing very well on the Jhin. Very good scoreline. Does end up dying in the play and bot side a little after this. But it starts with 369 pushed up very hard. He thinks he's on strong side of the map with members walking down, but he can't survive long enough. They don't give him the chance to punt someone over a wall, and Hung goes way too deep. There's no follow-up at this point. Yes, there is a Varus ultimate to follow through, but it's not quite there in time. Elk manages to just do a ton of damage. Yeah, he ends up dying because he ends up going under the Azir turret, and Knavi gets a kill onto him. But BLG still win in the 4v4.
Yeah, and like, you still end up dying a bin who has to flash out from that Azir turret, by the way. They're still doing an insane amount of work, but you've now got a 302 Ziggs, you've got a 6-kill Jhin, by the way, and actually Bin as well, for all we've had criticisms about his Rumble. This one's going pretty well. Replay what happened down here. Hook really lands onto Jack.
Yeah, he ends up flashing away, so dodged away from. We're not going to call that one a miss. That was clearly on target. And this is the real threat now, BLG's comp. They are ahead, and they have a Jhin and a Ziggs both at 2 items. Typically, I'd say the rapid fire cannon for the Jhin is pretty poor. However, if it's onto someone that's not the Cassante or the Leona, of course it gives you better target access for that first follow-up auto attack. 369, potentially going to come across at mid lane. Where are the spears? Where are the ultimates? Jackie Love going to be forced away from that spell shield.
Ow, gets so much damage. The Deadly Flourish comes on. They're burning out a little bit here. He's going to have to Ghost Blade, lose about half his HP, but that means 369 is left with no one supporting him. 4th shot landed on the
Rumble. Where's the equalizer?
There it is. It's across Jackie. Nice angle from Bin. The Deadly Flourish afterwards gets some work. The Solar Flare comes on down, but unfortunately, it ain't the same heat as that Rumble, who gets away with it. Of course, it's Knight that picks up the double. Bouncing bombs coming on through. Cream tries to get in, and it's just too far. Shadow finally dies, but Cream, you really didn't need to die there.
BLG are just so lactose intolerant today. Cream is curdled and will be ejected into the kitchen dustbin. Top Esports, they are not finding clean fights. I love how Bin is playing the Rumble this game. It is a champion which we've had a lot of criticism on him over the past. The Chinese community have often called him out on this pick too. It's not just us. However, this game has been fantastic. On ends up popping the spell shield, so the ult will land onto Jackie Love, which means that all of the follow-up is on target. Jhin W, the Ziggs ult takes him down well below half HP. Hey, Saf, how's it going? Good to see you. As Bin gets a great teleport angle. You've used the flash, you have no spell shield, your defensive options are spent. That gives Bin a magnificent angle to just roast them with the Flame Spitter and get a ton of damage down. Top Esports, they are outplayed, hands checked by BLG multiple times, and they have nothing left in the tank.
Wonderful work there. Ooh, a little bit of a pause. Hopefully that'll resolve itself very shortly. It sometimes does this, guys. Don't stress too much. We just now get a freeze frame of Cream going way too far.
We're all fine. Occasionally it happens. And we're back into the action. 1,000 gold lead in mid lane, 1,000 going on 2,000 gold lead even for top lane, who has built up the Bloodletter's Curse. Of course, there's better items for Knight we're building. He's got a Magi Soul Stealer. He has
my god.
He has the Ego item to build. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Sorry, Saf. Yes, my bad. Yeah, see why I wasn't replying? I'm busy yapping at video games. And I did, however, leave 2 voice notes, Saf. So I have replied to them. Don't you worry. As we get in towards our next objectives of the game, Saf's a very good friend of his IRL and is currently in our part of town, so we're going to meet up at some point, which is very, very cool. Long time since I've Saf may well have voice acted in many a game you've played.
May well know their voice.
Very, very talented person. As we come through back into the game, Elk and Knight leading the gold overall totals. And yeah, the Bloodletter's done on the Rumble. Really horrific scenario for top esports, because now what you have is potentially Electro Harpoon plus the Bloodletters shredding your magic resist to well below half. And even though there's a good amount of magic resist onto both Hung and 369 just because of the Eclipse and Aftershock from Hung, and then 369 with his various magic resist itemization, If you get hit by that magic resist shred and then the Ziggs hits you, you are immediately removed. Top Esports, because of this, I don't think they can front to back anymore.
No.
I think they could earlier into the game, but I think with the amount of gold, the amount of items that these solo laners have from BLG, I don't think that's an option anymore.
It's going to be really tricky. And again, like, just the range is so challenging between equalizers and Ziggs. And the Jhin actually at this point going to have an infinity edge pretty shortly. Again, that is a 7-kill option. Knight might be a bit deep here. They found Hung, who's looking for the flank. Really good scouting from Knight. Start to charge away. Will be safe because there's a Sun Disc available, but Hung's flank angle just immediately dissuaded.
I have to say, on the whole, Hung, since joining Top Esports, has had a good time of it. He's been playing very well compared to his disaster split on Weibo. Skullshot blown off Jackal, that's a difficult problem for him too. But Hung, this game has been very, very found out. He's 1-5, he's not finding the engages, he's trying to play around this vision around the side of the objectives. Atacon is clearly in the sights of Top Esports. They really want to play around this big old demon in the top side. They're not being given it for free. Pillar potentially could land. Not doing that much value, though.
Yeah, got between 3, but didn't really get too much. But now Hung's gone in. Actually, On's pretty low. He may well go down there. Not bad, actually. Nice angle there.
Oh, that's a bad teleport from Ben.
Oh, boy. He's going to be all right. Gets a slide away. He's damn quick because he just gets the Nimbus Cloak speed up alongside that Scrap Shield. Shots coming on through from Elk. Doesn't really land all that much. That Equalizer sucked, by the way, from Ben. So it's kind of trap off the Azir a little, but they can't do too much more than chunk a few people.
Yeah, he has the Swift Marches, the upgraded Swifties boots, and the teleport movement speed after the Nimbus Cloak too. So he's very quick out of there. But not a great look there from Bin. Ends up losing most of his HP, and as you were saying, that Equalizer was not good. The rest of his game has been. Knight trying to save them, really, getting some great damage. If Knight's poke hadn't landed, I think this play would be completely unplayable. Shadow, where is he? He's coming around the side, trying to look for a flank. He doesn't have the subterfuge gate. Once that the pillar reveals his position.
Yeah, but what does that change? Elk! Oh my god, he's gone too far. Cream gets Knight, and it's all falling apart for BLG.
Elk goes too far forward, ends up having to flash backwards, and Knight is baited into. Cream will get the play, but the misplays from Bin and Shadow around that top side really leaving them without the HP to contest. And Top Esports, they might have found an angle in now. Hung has flash, has ult in 5 seconds. BLG can't stick around. Top Esports in one fell swoop, get the Atacon, get the top lane turret, and they kill the Ziggs, and get rid of the Magi stacks.
That is kind of nasty. I hate to say it, it's kind of nasty. Right, Baron's up. Top Esports won't get a hold of it. It's holding on to the Magi's for now is Knight. It's not changed the game crazily. It evened up the petals. We'll look at this one because, of course, at this point, they've picked off On, who isn't here, and they're going to come and try and trade this. But actually, credit to Top Esports, despite being the ones tanking this Atacon, they end up managing the poke and the step forward from Elk. It's just way too far.
And the thing is, like, if Elk steps up, Bin and Knight have to as well, because you can't leave your AD carry there. He walks up into 2 soldiers. Realistically, the biggest missteps in this fight are Bin's teleport and then the step forward from Elk. That really sends this game, it sends that fight into a negative spiral. Have a great play from Cream, understanding his damage. Top Esports, real credit to them, realizing, hey, we have an angle around the Atacon. We can outplay. Top Esports, no slouches. Knight is now without any pages within his Magi's, has flashback up again, is still very powerful, has the upgraded pen boots, which will give him a lot more damage. Those arrows starting to fly through from Jackie 2 now as he turns up the objective. The dragon is alive and available.
Alive and kicking. Yeah, right then. BLG. Let's see what they can do from this position, because Top Esports are the ones in the river first. They've got a fair amount of poke of their own. This is Azir, 5 and 3. 3 items could be a problem, though. Heavy flourish onto Hung doesn't turn into too much so far. Jackie hit by the pillar. Not going to be threatened.
Spell shield's still there, though. The pillar actually didn't blow the spell shield. I guess it can't work like that. The Dragon's going to go to Top Esports. Knight not able to steal that. Had a pushback over the wall for some vision. Hung has flash, has ult. Could potentially look for a fight on the split targets. Choosing not to pull the trigger. You can see the body language. We're spoiling for it. Misses the Zenith Blade. On will hook out. Top Esports trying to group up. Force a play. I think they feel like they actually do have enough resists now. Perhaps what we were saying about the solo laners from BLG being too strong from the front to back, perhaps that's now not true with 369 with another Negatron cloak. And the Top Esports actually landing good poke of their own. BLG are the ones which are getting poked out, all things said and done. They will have to really review what's happened around the early game with the Trundle. I think Shadow has had a poor game on the Trundle, sadly, for him. That early levels set BLG behind. It's not very tanky either. Doesn't get the subjugate down.
Oh boy, damage comes on forward. Shadow survives for a second or two, doesn't burn out. He stays alive. Now the turnaround because coming through, his hunger's already gone down forwards. 369 goes all out, does finally finish with the trundle. But Elk with a wonderful snipe. Kanavi flashed on that, having pulled off on, but 369 will also get burnt out by this rumble. And all the while, Kanavi hit by the deadly flourish, spotted by the far side alteration, ends up being a 2 for 3 in favor of BLG, who end up doing pretty well in that choke point.
That was really clutch from BLG. They end up getting a 3 for 2 as their jungle support goes down, but you end up getting both solo laners as top esports. So BLG have a bit more presence on the map. Shadow surviving just long enough. It was very risky to walk up as a Trundle who's not that tanky at this point in the game and somehow get away with it, realizing that your follow-up is so good. This time the equalizer was good. It's been a mixed bag for Bin. And then look at the Zigzal. Onto 3, forces the Zhonya's out of Cream as well, so the Azir isn't DPSing. The last shot from the Jhin goes absolutely wild, executes Cream as no one's there to body block. Kanavi does end up getting a kill, but loses his flash for it.
The exhaust coming on through, Many couldn't just walk away. Actually, not bad from On. He was kind of going down, trying to get some value there as using that spellbook to cycle through as many summoners as he can. 3.5 item in for Elk. Infinity Edge done. He is becoming a legitimate additional threat at this point. Baron there and available. BLG thinking of starting it up. Okay. Get some value there as best we can. Just hunting that one. A while. Top Esports have been pushing BLG, and this was always going to be the question. All right, BLG, how do you do against Top Esports, who are 5-0? Of course, I think it's fair to say they are 5-0, but with caveats. They're winning by hands checking, by being better players sometimes, but mechanically are being a bit dubious, I think it's fair to say.
And apologies for audio delay over on TikTok. TikTok Live, we have literally a minus 800 millisecond audio offset for it to try and fix the audio delay issue. It's just a problem with TikTok Live. It can give you audio delay. It's quite hard to get things set up for the stream in the first place, so we apologize for that. And if you don't want to have the audio delay, come watch us over on Twitch or over on YouTube. We do have both those streams running as well, and over on Inivia. We appreciate everyone who's coming to support us on this channel. Of course, no official broadcast for the LPL anymore. It means that you're stuck with us, really.
Indeed.
We hope you're enjoying yourselves all the same. BLG, not as far ahead in terms of overall stats as they were before. Top Esports, real credit to them. I think they are the team in the LPL that are willing to scale and back to front to back. They're very good at front to back team fighting. You have a Void Staff in for Knight. That is a huge item completion. It means that the damage onto the front line becomes a lot more relevant again, especially with the Bloodletters shred from Bin, as we talked before. If that's stacked up and then you get the Void Staff through, doesn't matter how much magic resist you have as the front line of Top Esports, it's still going to hurt.
That it is. What about Jackie Love? Maybe find an angle. Bin on a flank here. His off vision could maybe threatening in his own right. It's a close game. For all that BLG are up about 3,000 gold, it's not been easy to really accelerate to a winning condition. Knight forced to flash from the Chains of Corruption. Ghostblade used aggressively there by Jackie Love.
Nice from Jackie Love. He's been playing this poke Varus very well. We've talked the praises of him before. That being said, you know, he's still got a lot of damage down on Elk. Elk is struggling to use this damage, though. He doesn't have a Lord Dominus regards. He went for the rapid fire cannon, which now at this point of the game feels a little bit bad. Yes, it helps you with target access. Landing onto the Azir.
Into the Mega Inferno, but doesn't really hit on that much. The Equalizer split away from as well. The parting of the Red Sea, all out onto On. Trying to find some value back at the end of it, though. Look at 369, burns out to the Jhin. Good value now. Beginning to turn it around. Kanavi's gone as well as Bin. Flashing on in. Shadow looking for the auto. Bonks that Varus over the head. They kill off a few more people. Cream alone survives.
A Jhin W at the start of the fight onto Cream wins the play for BLG. They're able to take down four members of Top Esports for just the one death of their own. They'll go towards the Baron, and this will break open the game. They can use this, potentially go and teleport down to protect the dragon. I don't think so. Maybe Cream might have killed that by the time they get there, but BLG will happily take the Baron and return onto the map. They do need to get towards bot side quickly if they want to contest this. Cream might be able to sneak this away. I don't think BLG saw this coming quickly enough. However, if Cream dies for this take, then it's very worth for them.
Pick up that dragon. It's Soul Point. Does he get out? I think he might not. Hang on, is he TPing? I think he is. He's out.
He uses the teleport to. He'll be down that big summoner, the global. Top Esports will get themselves Soul Point. I think BLG should have recalled Knight or Bin while the Baron was going down and then use them to teleport it in early. Pillar landed onto Cream to slow him. The satchel gets the burn onto him, and that allows the W to land. So it's a couple of big long-range skill shots, which throw things awry. I'm actually not sure the Equalizer tagged the Azir there, by the way. I think actually Bin ended up missing his ultimate onto Cream. It's a bit of a bad story for him, but then Jackalope gets caught out by another pillar. The pillars from Trundle getting more and more value. I mean, credit to Shadow. I think he's had a poor game. He's been set behind, but I think that he's done a lot of work with the limited use he has later into the game.
Yeah, and again, look, not the easiest Trundle game of all time. Still doing okay here. He's not been the star of this show today. I think Bin, actually on this Rumble, been very clutch. We've seen some good clutch ults from Elk. I think Knight as well hitting some good shots. You can certainly feel pretty happy about that. The Mortal Reminder now in for Jhin. And look, people think Jin's passive is just haha fourth shot funny and you get the crit off that. People forget the other part of that passive, which is basically you scale, you get additional AD based on your crit and your base AD, or or the bonus AD, sorry, you get from your items. So once you hit 4 items and you've got, at this point, 100% crit or close to it, you are getting an obscene amount more AD.
Yeah, he's gone for the 100% crit item. Itemization. Hasn't gone for something like a Ghost Blade. Everything else is crit within his inventory, going towards a Bloodthirster later. And he does actually have Armor Pen now, which he didn't have before. Shadow taking a good amount of damage. 369. Oh. Yeah, this is the problem with these AP solo laners, stacking up the resists onto each other.
Yeah, they get a lot of damage down. The fourth shot still available. Probably will do a fair amount of one person's HP if it lands, but splits the uprights on that one. Shout out to the Lions Tour.
They didn't quite get the clean sweep.
Close.
Did end up winning through it. Now the siege comes in. Ziggs Siege, one of the most disgusting things in the history of League. Gets under turret. Does get a lot of damage onto Kanavi, does Elk, but I think that's good. Whoa! God.
Okay, burns there, and Knight's Magi stacks are ticking back up again.
That wasn't burn. That was just a well-timed Q. It is like, okay, you're golden. You have CC'd yourself in front of me.
Shooting statues in a barrel.
Skill shots are no longer skill shots when you're like that. And BLG will continue with the last 20 seconds of the Baron, see if they can finally break open the base.
I'll try and do it for sure. It's going to be 4 off that short fuse pass to execute with the satchel, I think.
I think with Toppies was just trying to look for a flank with the Leona. They'll be able to keep the wave away from turrets. Ziggs does get the auto in there, maybe. Has hung another poor ultimate from him. I think he's been in a rough position as the person who had to engage into this very long-range backline. I do think that some of his engages have been a little bit off, and sadly for him, I think that his split has been good. This has not been a great game from him, though.
No, agreed. Not been an easy time, to say the least. What happens on reset here? Here we go, look at this replay, because Knight hits the bullseye.
So it's just, look at the amount of poke there is. You get hit by one thing and suddenly everything else follows. It's the pillar into the hook. He does go a little bit too far. However, a bunch of damage comes through as that bomb is pixel perfect. That is insane. There's like 2 frames you can flash out of there. Kanavi couldn't quite manage to do so. He did have that flash. And typically, Kanavi's Nidalee has been very, very potent, but was never really allowed to take off against BLG and Shadow. Did do very well in the early game, but I think the lanes of BLG having a Rumble ult that can appear from half a map away, it feels like sometimes. The same with Ziggs and the Jhin, who actually can do it from a literal half a map away, has meant that he's never really been able to invade in the way that you need to with a Nidalee to keep ahead of the Trundle and force them down.
Like, he got, what, 10 CS max ahead as a Nidalee? That's not great fun. That's a really frustrating position to be in. And it's not like Kanavi, I think, has been mechanically piloting this champion poorly. Like, he's found some really good flash angles in and being really obnoxious. Just not led to all that much, is it? Yet, rather. There we go. 7,000 or so gold ahead. 8, actually, if I do my maths correctly. Baron. Dragon. That's the one spawning in 40 seconds. If we sold 40, yes, they can get that
so that's
one.
Their win con.
Maybe that turns things
They
up.
are behind a lot of gold now, though. A lot of gold. And, an Infernal Soul would change the game. You do have potential of crazy damage coming through from the Azir and the Nidalee from their poke, and BLG are not the tankiest team.
No, they're
see
not.
there, the Elk got hit by 1 arrow, I think, and it's about 1/3 of his HP down. Maybe a little less. Not winning the mid lane skirmish because of that, in terms of mid lane wave control, rather. It's not really a skirmish. Azir powered turrets put up the brute force priority. Elk will give up on the mid wave now at this point, and Top Esports will not be able to keep BLG out of the river, though. They've gone in through bot lane instead, which is a good flex from them. A good pivot to say, we're not winning through mid lane. Let's go through bot lane instead. Top Esports behind in gold. Not bad positioning, though. They have good poke.
They do. Equalizer comes across. That's going to burn out. A little bit there, not as much as I think they were hoping for as the locket comes on through and the Ghostblade gets Jackie off of the red carpet for a second or two there.
Yeah, the Bloodlight is now down. Oh, and that's too far.
Oh dear. Now he's in danger, but he actually survives fair amount of time. Cream exhaust on the backside. Goes Golden. In goes Kanavi. He's also low. Mega Inferno Bomb! And they all burn away. Knight's looking for everyone. They'll give one over an Elk just to make sure it's not just the Ziggs picking him up. But Fire and Fury comes in the form of a very small Yordle in that fight.
A 7,500 damage team fight puts Knight to 25 stacks on the Medjais and will carry his team through that fight to the finish. This Ziggs pick for Knight has been pivotal for BLG. They've never been an Azir team. Well, they don't have to be anymore. You can take the Azir and they'll counter it. Knight Ziggs, another great game. Second game in the split, only the third in his career, and he'll be at a 100% win rate all time.
Heading on in, the value is good. And BLG have found their answer into the Azir. It never looked like Knight's most comfortable champion. Who gives a damn now? Give it up. Mash it this way. Much better stuff from BLG, who continue on their winning ways.
BLG will claim themselves the first game in the series. It was not an easy one. The Atakan particularly will give them a lot to think about as they couldn't quite cleanly play around that. And we'll have ourselves a nice game. Hello, how's it going? Yeah, it seems to be working pretty okay over on the Ziggs side.
What's in that little corner then? Was the idea?
Yeah, cool. Nice, that works.
Well, maybe you have to have a debate about having the camera in game, I guess.
No, not
you don't want to do. You don't want to do it.
No, because that's just not what people watch for, and it messes up highlight channels that use our stuff as well. So I don't really want to do that. True. If it gets to the point where we're no longer like doing proper broadcasts and we're doing more like co-streamy stuff. Technically, this is a co-stream, but we like to be more professional. Perhaps that'll be the case when we do that there at some points.
Yes.
But yeah, BLG, confident in their ability to play around the Ziggs and the Jhin. Love the double poke. Shadow had his worst game he's had for BLG so far. Now, it is against Kanavi. You somewhat expect Kanavi to dunk on other enemy junglers, but Shadow, I think, really struggled in the early game. That first fight around the bot side scuttle, a lot to be questioned about that there. He did recover well. His pillars were good later into the game. I actually think the more important thing is he struggled in the early game, did very well at recovering. That's actually more important to me than anything else.
Because I think that there have been times in the past where one of the criticisms or characteristics of Shadow as a player was that he was a very feast or famine player. If he snowballed, it looked fantastic. He'd be ahead of the game, making all these crazy plays. 17-0 on Neferi. If it didn't work, he would die trying to make that happen. And he died quite a lot trying to make it happen. It's not quite MLXG, but there was that element of Shadow from behind the game was not the same player. He wasn't as stable as you'd like from a jungler, but looking like it, again, he's on BLG. He's actually got the pieces around him to make sure that he doesn't feel like he has to overplay his hand, and that looked pretty solid, I think, on that front. He's not going to get an MVP by any measure. It's likely Knight or Elk, I would imagine, maybe an outside chance of Bin. But one of those guys doing a lot of the damage, hit a lot of the skill shots, and kind of carried those fights would make most sense to me.
So that will be our first game done. We'll go into a bit of a break now. Got to run some adverts. We'll watch some highlights.
Oh, yes.
Just going to see if there's anything we can do about the clean feed instead of using Hoya, because I do prefer using the clean feed. It makes it a lot easier on us tech-wise, really. There is actually a backup.
Ooh, give it a go.
Could actually try that. Okay, let me just try something real quick. Type it out because I can't.
Yeah.
We'll see if that works. Maybe. This is the backup for the media source.
Fingers crossed.
I don't hear anything, so I doubt it. Yeah, like it's just gone today.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit dead. Find out if that changes.
Well, it won't be today then. At this point, I don't. At this
Unlikely.
Point, okay. Need to kick Cream. He's underperforming. I mean, I don't think he's at the level of like Knight or Shanks right now, and I think Rookie's playing better than him. I don't think Cream is
like criminally bad. I just think that he looks worse against a team like BLG because let's be honest, most mid laners look worse against Knight. Most of them do. So
yeah, and then that equalizer there was kind of it, I think, for that fight as well. Good stuff.
Okay, right. So have a bit of a break.
We do.
That's on.
I'll get you another coffee. I will probably need to head off for this next.
Okay, cool.
And you should have. We've got the social things basically, which is fun.
Video people look more professional than those people in Europe and the US because Europe and the US, so LEC and NA, and LCS and LEC, have gotten a lot of success around being more approachable, having more casual environment, being more entertaining. That's what they built their brand on, and it's done very well, Bounty Hunter, actually. And like, and if you look at playoffs, everyone's suited up, everyone's in dresses and suits. I don't think it's dissimilar there. For regular season, what it allows you to do is be more creative. LEC has always been praised for that, and I think LTA has been fantastic at that too. And well, yeah, I think there was actually a big problem for a while where NA and EU were only doing very serious, very suited up everything, and that ended up being quite dull actually to watch.
Because if you want a bit of an example, and I don't know how long you've been watching lolesports for, but if you go back to 2018 when the LEC rebrand comes in, at that time LCS was basically EU followed. EU LCS followed NA LCS at the time in the terms of like how they broadcast as each other.
Hey Unity, thank you so much for the gift.
I hear, Alex.
Awesome. And the LCS broadcast was really suited and booted, very serious analyst desk work. Jack was actually went on things like ESPN. It was really cool, but it was like a very serious take on a serious sports broadcast basically. And then LEC came in and did its own thing, where they did a lot more casual, a lot more creative, a lot of silly cringe stuff. They were doing all of those cold opens and stuff. Endo was doing Between Two Ferns.
Yeah.
Dracos and Vedi started doing the epic mediocre rap battles of LEC, right? That kind of stuff. And that went really, really well for LEC. And actually then people went, wow, I actually much prefer this vibe. And the LCS was kind of actually in the end had to rethink itself a bit to figure out how it was going to do its identity, because the old school identity wasn't really working anymore. And so they kind of reimagined themselves that way and ended up going more towards that more creative, slightly more lighthearted, slightly less formal tone. That hasn't been the case so much in LCK or LPL. And they're doing just fine with it. Yeah, and Ben gets player of the game. You know what? I can see it. Actually, pretty good Rumble game. Really clutch ultimates. Some good flash forwards with the Flame Splitters. Nice work. There you go.
Bin gets MVP. I think it maybe should have gone to Elk, actually. I think that Bin was really good, but Elk was very, very good on the Jhin,
This was a pretty clutch fight from him, to be fair.
Wait, were they using the BLG Junior emote? Oh, that's kind of funny. Not emote, the icon. So Sam, you gotta head off.
I do, yes.
You go do that then.
I will get out of here. Cool. Do you want me to remove my chair out?
Yes, please.
Right.
Can you get me one? Is there any coffee left in the cafeteria?
I'll have a look. I'll see what I can get for you. If not, I'll ensure you get one. Okay. Cool. I'll take my chair out.
Yeah, but no, Ben had some very good ults. I mean, this one, oh, it did end up taking on Cream, but only for the first tick. I don't know. I actually feel like the ult was not that fantastic. Interesting.
I remember there was that era when you used to do like the Night Harvester Rumble just for that first tick.
Yeah. Well, it was just a very broken item at that point. And also it was very good from jungle because it was just very, very efficient for like your E ganks and stuff like that too. Elk missed a lot of force shots. That's true. Yeah, his force shots were less
mixed.
Yeah,
there were one or two very
then
good
again,
ones.
but then
Really
at that
cool
point you're like,
too.
well, Elk and Bin were both kind of mixed on that. The consistent person was Knight, so, vote to Knight. I thought it was very good. There were a couple of votes towards mid lane, actually. I mean, Knight, that last team fight was disgustingly good. Disgustingly good. Okay, well, you know what time it is, folks. It is time to play horse game while we're in the break.
I don't know how the scene's set up for horse game on here, but I'm hoping it's fine.
I will figure that out, Sam. By that, Sam, you mean it's not set up and I'll have to figure it out on the fly. That's okay, we can do that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that ends up going across this. What I'll have to do is I'll have to move this into the middle of the screen is what I'll have to do. That'll work if I go like that. That works, cool. That works. Get the ivermectin ready for the horses. Is that a horse tranquilizer or is that? I think it's on race day. It's Oscar High. Is that a late race? Auto adapt is pretty good actually. Ramp up's pretty good too. We'll go ramp up. Although I think this campaign's kind of fucked. We're Oh, and we lost a ton of like mood ups as well because of random events, which sucks. Hey, Vassi. Your favorite horse game streamer? I don't know. Northern Lion plays the game, and I think that's yeah, I don't know. I think that's a bit much. Okay, so we're on which bracket? Oh, late start, good start. Yay! Love getting late starts for important races. Okay, we're in break until potentially our last game of the day, folks. 16? Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know, this game is a bit of a glue campaign. Got ramp up late surge corners, that's not bad. But this is just, we just low rolled. This one's not great. Well, do we have enough power to make it through this? Did we get fighter? We got straight acceleration, which is pretty good, but we're blocked out. I don't know if we have the power to make it through this stuff. We are making it slowly through the pack, and I guess there is the last corner to go. I just don't think we've got the power to make this kind of thing work though. Tether's not bad. Oh, it's not bad, you know. Actually managed to break through the pack. There we go. Second, maybe? Third. That sucks. I'm not using stopwatches if we need to get like above third. More power could help with that. Fucking, I know. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. Get inspiration. This Stig's pick must be doing very well in Scrimson to trust it versus top esports. Well, I mean, from the 2 games we've seen, like, Knight looks really, really good on it. So. It's not bad stuff, actually. Oh, we didn't get enough fans to do this stuff. Energy down by 5 as well. Love it. Love having energy down. It's not bad at all. No, we take the energy up. If this somehow ends up being like our 3-star, I'm gonna be really, really annoyed actually. Go for recreation. Okay, we get the end. I swear if we get another mood down. I don't know what this is, I can't remember this one. Stamina up by 10, that's not bad actually. Practice perfect, fine, it's good. We're gonna get 600 on most of these at least. Let's do a rest actually. Oh, we even got the low rest. This is just such a cursed run. Such a cursed run, what the hell? We didn't roll swinging Meister either. Shouldn't have run that power card. I thought she was more of a late surger. I just didn't check the stats. Quarter round up's fine. Room positioning's okay. Nah, that's actually not great for us. As in pace chase is fine. Late surger straightaways is okay actually. Yeah, whatever. Late surger straightaways is fine. Okay. And we'll get ready for our next game. This feels bad going into fucking late surger when there's a ton of people in it. BLG felt pretty in control. They were up until the Atacon, and when they hit when the Atacon fight went badly because of the mistakes from Bin and from Elk, then the game fell apart a little bit and it became much more of a knife fight. No late start this time, nice. I gotta make a tweet about Knight's Okay, I'm not in a bad spot. NAEU a bit too inclusive? What the hell does that mean? Kaiser, what the hell does that mean? I don't know, that's just cringe, man. If you think that broadcast, that the NA and EU broadcasts are too inclusive, like, I don't think you know like the state of like the talent around those. That's just a little strange to me, honestly. Should be getting into draft soon. I mean, just honestly, just say what you mean by that. What do you mean by too inclusive? Do you think that the people that they have in there are bad? Who do you think is bad then? Rather than blaming it on something like that. Also, if you're going to talk about people like Frostgrim is fantastic at her job. And Frostgrim is fantastic at her job. Also, like, I mean, how many people are on the LEC broadcast in terms of the crew? There's like a dozen plus people, maybe 15. There are 3 women on the broadcast, which is like 20%. That's still like pretty fucking low compared to player base. If you think it's about inclusivity, then obviously it's not even achieving its job as inclusivity, right? At that point. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about that because I don't want to like derail the stream with what is actually, I just think, a bit of a nothing burger topic. Okay, we go for the 35%. We never fail these, right? Yay, I'm right for once. And we rest. Should be into draft soon. Okay. And we'll get that off screen and ready for our draft. Oh, Dog Shamrock, thank you so much for the coffee donation. You're very, very kind. I appreciate you an awful lot. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. You're very, very kind. I appreciate you a lot. Second draft between Top Esports BLG. Oh, this is really not good for draft, is it? I need to... Oh, it's really not good, is it? Let me deal with this. Okay, we'll just have to deal with that at some other point then. You can actually see the draft. Do it like that and then change it out afterwards. And best of first pick. Anything else that's up and available? The Annie Wukong combo. Pantheon's down. On the other side. I mean, it's very good for On. Zyra Khan, I don't love going towards Zyra Khan like this. Now you can pick in something like the Orianna, which I think really does well into the Zyra. Because Shockwave is often traded for Zyra, well, and she can't play that very well. Top Esports, I think they lock in. I think they should lock in something like the Orianna. Wukong goes in for Kanabi. Not bad for him. If you go towards the Annie, I don't know. I like that less into the Xayah. Now Knight can... what can Knight go into this? You can play the longer range duo now. Like duo of carries now if you go towards the Elk Xayah and then something mage-like of Knight. Knight could go towards Victor. I think Victor's not bad here. Oh, there's no Trundle, which means Sion's very, very powerful. That could be a problem. That could be a problem indeed for Top Esports. And Best is okay into the Sion. But now there's no Trundle to deal about this. Yeah. Vi's open. Vi's been nerfed a lot. Vi's been nerfed an awful lot. Bot lane is banned out in the second round by BLG. Mid lane is away from Knight. We did say the Orianna could be quite good into the Annie. There's still Aurora open. Maybe top esports want to ban that out because Aurora can do well into the Annie, and it's pretty survivable against stuff like the Ambassador Wukong too. Victor banned away. We already called that out too. I think Aurora is still fine for Knight here. Something like the Akali could also be weirdly quite good here. It does fine into the Annie, even those point-and-click stuns. Your laning phase is just good into it. Lucian Braum is not open. Reveal it was banned away, the Lucian. Shin's out for Shadow, gives him a good matchup versus the Wukong in the individual matchup. Was struggling with the losing matchup before. Corky Rel, standard bot lane for top esports, and the Aurora, we did say it was likely for Knight, comes in. That was a nice and easy one. Let's get ourselves into our potential last game of the day. Into the game we go then. Jayo is nice and strong. BLG, confident. Game 1 for large parts in that last game. Gonna have to quickly just refresh the stream, just because I think audio is a little bit delayed. We'll just make sure we get back into it. There we go. Cool. Nice and easy. BLG, better front to back than last game, I think, in many ways. They have the better front line. Shadow has a better jungle matchup versus Kanavi. That's important. I think that Kanavi largely outplayed Shadow in the early game. Obviously later on, Shadow got more value, but Shadow having the early jungle matchup now gives him a bit more chance to figure things out. Jack11 Hung, walking forwards, flash for flash, means that no damage comes down. Hung hits the Q as well, doesn't get the heal onto Elk, and the cleanse is used to get away that ignite. Barrier used by Jack11, not getting that much value out of it. Flick back onto On. Good damage here from Jack11 Hung, who this time get a much better level 1. The Conqueror is stacked, and Elk has no flash. Elk, you can't walk up to a stacked Conqueror, especially with the shred coming through. Jack11 just walks at him. Bad mistake by Elk. Well, fun stuff. Looks like TikTok streams had another couple of problems again. Well, that's depressing. We've been trying to make TikTok streams work, but there's another issue with it. Not sure why. Really not sure why. Oh well, TikTok stream's down. Can't do much about that now. It's a pain, it is. Level 3 hit by On, not hit by Jackalov. Of course, On ends up getting that wave. Good CS lead. Should have been there for Jackalov. Will pick up most of this farm. Hasn't managed to... he gets A back in with that tier. That first blood, of course, helps with that. Corki and Wukong Armor Shred is going to be vital versus this sign. It'll definitely help, especially when you get the Black Cleaver in for either Kanavi or 369. Either of them can build it. Fight in the bot side as well. On gets the double grand entrance. We have tried really hard to make this whole multi-streaming thing work. So, sorry, folks, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. This is a very important game to talk about. Zyra can't. Typically very famed for their lane dominance, but you know, Jackalov and Hung getting the most of it. I'll go towards the lethal tempo as well. Sometimes you see the Conqueror out of Zyra. You see the Conqueror more, I think, when you have tankier members to fight against. So you, ooh, good knockback there. Goes into the Grand Entrance. Jackalov has no barrier. He's the one that dies in the 2v2 this time. Good strike back from BLG. The 2v2 been very competitive in this game. Elkanon cleanly winning it in the last one this time. Much, much better. Kanavi coming down bot side to see if they can punish someone else. And Kanavi comes in. Can't get the Q down. On will flash out. And the reaction timing is good. The Rakan always hard to take down. Both Elk and Jackalov struggling in the 2v2. This time Kanavi comes down to try and make it a 3v2. Can't get the most out of it. Bin has the level 6, hits the E. Elkanon coming over to lane swap. Bin going to reset, go towards the bot side of the map. Can either teleport or ult his way down there. 369 going to be zoned off a little bit of CS. The Ambassador into the Scion. Not a bad matchup, but not... Oh, Cream misses the ult to Knight as it ease backwards. Tried to get a big trade onto him. Knight doesn't have something like Merc Treads yet, so it would have been full duration of CC and full damage. There's no magic resist on Knight, and it will be the ult going towards bot side to clear that out. The whole wave is stacked up, so it's going to get great wave clear here. Nice, there you go. Scion ult, very good for wave clear. And Bin will clear through that slightly ahead of 369. Teleports up towards that top side. Hung was there. Wait, yes, it was 369. I was wondering if it was Hung with the spell with teleport. Cream's Annie is so dreadful. They should stop picking it. It's not his best. It's not his best. I'm not going to lie. I think that... I know that someone earlier was saying that Cream was holding top Esports back from being a top team. And while I think that's a bit overly harsh, because I still think that Cream is good, you can't argue against the fact that Cream is struggling compared to the other members in top Esports. I think 369 has clearly been top tier, top laner on top Esports for still most of his time there. I think that Kanavi has been best jungler in LPL for stretches of time. Jackalov has been Jackalov. You know what you get with him. He's a top tier AD carry within the LPL. Occasional fall-offs, but god, the highs are so good. Pull back onto 2, 369. Still has that level 6 if they want to continue that fight. Elk doing a good job with the feathers. Elk always been a very good side player. Shadow. Finding out Kanavi doesn't have level 6 this Shadow. Cyclone comes through. Q dodged away from another Cyclone charge, and Shadow will go down. Kanavi has been brutalizing Shadow in the early game. Kanavi, does he get to use the Conqueror? Oh, yes, he does. Jump over from Knight. Can he get the kill onto Kanavi? Yes, he can. Where's the shotgun onto Jackalov? Q coming through from that Scion. Frost Bomb lands. There's a flash from Knight. Does he need to use it? Perhaps not. Blue buff now coming up from Knights. Some extra damage from that barrier used. Conqueror is stacked. Does have the flash if he needs to use it. Bin gets the kill anyway. And Jackal, you could have just flashed to safety. Cream will clean it up. But Top Esports largely getting the best of that? Question mark? Kill to Kanavi. Kill to Jackulov. Kill to Cream. Oh, is that true? No, I think it was just the 2, actually. Sorry, it ends up being 2 for 2. You can see, though, that even though Shadow was... he's on the winning matchup early game, it's Kanavi the one that's getting the most out of it. So what happens here? We're going to the spot side players. Kanavi's got that early level 6. The Conqueror stack from Shadow a little bit quicker. But Cyclone's there. Q comes through onto Kanavi. Yes, Bin is there first, but it's just not enough damage. Zion is not great at instant CC. So kill comes through to Kanavi. Knight gets a kill. I think Knight getting the kill is really, really bad news for Top Esports. Jackulov ends up blowing another summoner. Doesn't bother blowing the flash this time. Fight in the top side. Kanavi's gone down. Knight gets up another kill there. It's Top Esports. They end up taking a poor approach to the grubs. Hung does have flash, does have ult. There is no ult for Knight. Ult coming through from Bin. Frontline is here. We'll be able to zone them off. You can't stay too long there, friend. Stunned up. Hung has CC as well. Yeah, Bin, you have gone too far there. That is way too far, my friend. Goes down for a second death of the game. However, 3 grubs to go to the side of BLG, despite the fact that Bin goes way too far. And ends up donating a kill over to Cream. He's now 2-0. Picked up 2 kills onto Bin in the last little while. Shadow does have flash. Doesn't have the Crescent Guard. And Hung misses the stun. 5 stacks for Dark Seal for Knight. 4 for Cream. Both mid laners fed now. On. Started off with a great knock-up onto Kanavi. He'd already used the Warrior Tricks there. Used that flash beforehand. And dies. Bin was around the mid lane. Now, he does go too far, but he does zone off the team. Now, I think this was fine. I just think that the ult-in was fine. Sticking around after that was not. That is just less valuable, right? It does keep the team from getting in there, but you could just back off into a bush where you think you have vision control, charge up the Q from there. Cream will get the stun, but no ultimate to follow up just yet. Shadow does have... Oh, flashes forwards for it. That's what I was about to say. 3 Talon Strike comes on through. Crescent's Guard and Bin's out of range. Bin's out of range. Wind becomes lightning, comes in, and he'll tank the turret for a parting gift to Cream. Kill to Shadow. You on the Shinzo are having a better time of it in the early game. Did blues against Kanavi earlier on in that jungle skirmish. Even in a 2v1. Elk going on to Jackulov. Jackulov going on to Elk. And I think Jackulov wins that. I think he absolutely wins that. But can he get the escape? Yes, he can. Had ult, had flash, had cleanse. Choose to use none of them. Now, problem is, Jackulov can't really die if the... Oh, God, that would have been a killer thing. Dodging out on the Frost Bomb as well. Elk, making my heart jump into my throat there. I'm trying to clear up as best he can. He has a refill pot ticking, which helps him. Doing well to keep up in terms of overall CS. Credits to him. I think Jackulov has been playing very aggressively on the Corki. Having an okay time with things, actually. I think Jackulov, yes, he didn't flash away in that one bot side play, which I don't think he saw the grass proc coming, I think, from Bin in that play where she died in bot side. 2v2 was great to watch. Jackulov cancel an auto. I actually didn't cancel it. I didn't catch that cancel auto. Huh. Ooh, flashing in. Knocker comes through. The aura all over the wall. Not got that. Not got great follow-up that he lands. Is the burn enough? Well, if it wasn't, Shadow is with the Wind becomes lightning. 1 for unknown right now. 369 getting rooted up by Elk with a ton of damage onto the Xayah. Means that no smite. Means that it's unlikely that Dragon's taken. But BLG with low HP on their AD carry. I'm not sure they can stick around and fight, so BLG won't be able to stay around for that either. Bin, no teleport, but could potentially back off and ult towards bot side. At least a recall, really. Kanavi's really struggling with this intro into objectives. The objective setup for top esports in this game, in the early game, has been poor. They were much better planning their early game in game 1. And while all this is happening, Knight is picking up more and more of the pieces. 2-0-2 on the Aurora. Going pretty damn well there. Dragon starts by top. Of course, Kanavi is respawned right now. The chunk onto Elkman that BLG couldn't get Dragon earlier. Elk, you need to be careful. There's a flash Annie. They go onto the Rakan instead. The engaged bot getting engaged onto and is dead. Knight doesn't have the ultimate, but he does have the shotgun. Scion ult lands. That's a hell of a lot of knockups, and Hung won't flash and will die. Hung goes down 1 for 1. Both engaged supports down as Hung. That one is not great. You really don't want to die that. You could have had a clean one for O. Flash out. Didn't have the ultimate. Could have potentially waited for a retake of the Dragon Pit because Hung doesn't flash. Ends up giving BLG the win around that objective. Knights. Another set of Dark Seal stacks. 7 Dark Seal stacks is so powerful. Aurora, yes, has a lot of base damages, but yeah, you know. The AP ratios still hurt. Of course they do. Cream walking forwards, getting the stun. There are Merc Treads on Knight. He has Flash, he has ult. I really don't think they can go for the full kill with that. Well, maybe they can now as Wave Clear comes through. Knight will have to use that ultimate as the Merc Treads. Flashes out late. Cream, good trade. No defense for Knight on that bot side. Kanavi gets himself involved in the kill too. Good kill onto Knight on the side lane. Some Dark Steel stacks gone. Elk pushed in the mid lane while this is happening though, so BLG happy to take a cross map. Shadow on top side. First tower will be taken by top esports on the bot side of the map. That'll be that mark towards feats of strength. However, top esports no objectives taken just yet. 3 grubs and the dragon to BLG. So top esports not close to getting that objective marker for the feats of strength. The kill's already going the way of BLG. They reached 3 first. Knock. Oh, Hung. That's just not good, friend. Is he going to flash out? No, the mistake was already made. Blew the exhaust. Hung is having a really bad time in this game. What was his score last game? At least 1-6, 1-7 maybe? I'm having a bad time. And I thought he was having a much better time on top esports than he was in Weibo. I think he was playing quite well. I will get hydrated, Vasu. I can't right now. Sam said he was going to get me a coffee, but has not managed to do so. Don't know if he ADHD'd and forgot about it. It happens sometimes. Not that I don't do that too. Herald taken down by top esports now. BLG not in a position to contest, despite the good skirmish earlier. I think this series has been a lot of support diff, you know. I think On has been playing really well today. On has been struggling a bit. Herald in mid lane. On doesn't have something like a cleanse. Shadow tags into Jackalop. Does he want to go for a bigger place? Charged up the 3 Talon Strike. Herald into mid lane won't kill it. Top esports back off, aware that Shinzai could dash in and get that prime to knock up. Not going to walk up too far. Knows again that the Annie is just around that corner and is very strong right now. Tower taken in bot side by minions. No local gold though. Cream allowed that to fall with no local gold going over, so BLG miss out on a little bit of resources there. Knight pushing up quite far in bot side, actually. We'll clear out one wave. Cream not able to catch up and do that much, though. Scion ult towards top side. The farm alarm for Scion is sounded. Wave clear of the Scion ult. Effective. Jackalov falling behind a little bit on Elk now, but he's about to hit his big power spike at the Muramana Triforce. Out close to Flicker Blades. Mid lane tower should be taken now. 3 grubs will make that easier. The BLG open up the bot side of the map entirely now. Mid lane turret and bot lane outer turret are both down. Bin will slowly take down, well, not even slowly, I mean, demolish. This will be taken down too. BLG in one fell swoop, take away, I've said that a lot today. They'll take down the mid lane and the top lane turret and open up the entire enemy jungle of top esports. It's very hard to play around your jungle when you don't have enemy turrets and you don't have yours. Jackal getting a little bit of damage down. Top esports really needs to take an outer turret. They took the bot lane out of one. If they take the mid lane one, they're much happier. They don't have those grubs, but they can't force it. Minotaur Dragon. Not going to land that twofold Hex. Trying to fight over vision control. Top East was good control of vision, despite the fact that they've lost a lot of their turrets. Having Annie there with Flash, ult, level 11, definitely helps. At all, Sam. TikTok stream died again. Oh, no. Yeah, even with all the changes, it's done the same suspended thing. So. Oh.
That's really exhausting.
Well, we've tried our best, folks. We'll perhaps have one more try, but I also don't want to get my account banned as well. Yeah. So perhaps we call it a day on that until we get some more information. But TikTok doesn't exactly give you that, so hard to find things out on that front. Shadow starting up the dragon. Finishing the dragon, in fact. And that'll go down. Top esports unable to get themselves a single objective so far. Those are the neutral ones. Knight, good poke onto Canavia. The Leandri's Mark can obviously choose to go towards something like the Bloodletters or the Riftmaker. I think Riftmaker's better in this game because you're looking at extended fights. I think the extra HP makes a bit of difference. And I say when I looking at the extended fights, right, you have a Scion, you have a Shinzao, you can play a little bit longer. It's not against tanks, but I don't think that the magic resist is going to be, the magic resist shred, it's going to be as impactful. BLG having a great start to their split. It's changed out jungle. H1 is still on the roster technically, but benched. Shadow I do think has been diffed by Kanavi. That's not an unexpected thing, folks. It is Kanavi. I think that Shadow has been still good at playing from behind in a way, which is very important when you're against very good junglers, of course. Can't always expect to be ahead of them. Atkan has spawned last 30 seconds. Been doing very well at wave clearing out against 369. More than that, actually. 369 forced the flash. Shadow trying to get in range for his E. Dashing forwards. Has 3 Talon Strike. And the slow lands, goes unstoppable, has a couple more dashes. Can Shadow get in range for the 3 Talon Strike? Yeah, he can because he's got an Audacious Charge. 1 dash stopped. 369 with an ult and a flash cannot survive, and Bin and Shadow clean up that kill. 3-1 on 4 now on that Shinzao. Shadow getting good kill participation when comboing up with Bin. I think almost all of them are coming through with that as well. However, that has left mid lane turret open. Flash from Hung on using that disengage. Ult thrown through from Elk. On will not die. Mid lane turret will fall. That's a good objective for top east was. Losing Ambessa but getting mid lane turret, I don't think you're unhappy with that. And we're here to inform chat that Maya is in your life. I mean, Maya is a very adorable cat, so I thank you for this update. It's very important to me. Hello, Maya. Knight jumping forward to mid lane, using that move speed of that W. Not able to get in range for the shotgun. Clean feed will just quickly take a pause again. It'll start to kick in again in a second, folks. Don't you worry about that. Well, bloody well hope it does anyway. There you go. Nice. Back in action. Back in action. I'll probably jump forwards one more time now. When it refreshes, it does that. Yeah. That's what Hoya does anyway. Knight spots out Hung. Hung doesn't have flash. And the support of top esports has really struggled this game. Doesn't get an engage this time either. 369 has ultimate. Will buy a little bit of space. Flash forward from Cream. It's on to 3. Ambessa goes back into the backline, but I don't know if the damage is quite there. 2 taken down, but it's jungle support. The damage is still available from BLG in the Xayah. And the Aurora will get away a little bit from the damage of the Ambessa. It still ends up being a 2-for-1. Hung goes down. Sion's still alive. 369 very deep in. Bin getting some healing from the Unending Despair. And Elk goes mental with the lethal tempo stacked up. Flashes back out. It ends up being 2 for 2. But you gotta wonder, how much better that could have gone if it wasn't their engaged support getting caught at the start of the fight. Again, Hung with a very poor series against BLG. It's a hard team to play against, of course it is, and BLG are very good at snap engages and firing back on you. But Top Esports would really love this rel to have a good team fight. Right here, gets caught out, no flash. The Wukong having to use the ultimate defensively. It's not onto the Xayah. It's not really onto the Aurora either. It does take a bit of damage, but it's not really enough. Cream gets a fantastic triple stun. Good angle from him. Allows Mbessa into the play, but he's doing the job which Hung should be doing. Xin Zhao does die. You know, Shadow goes too deep, but he's doing it as kind of like a disengage action. The pullback's not awful. But Hung ends up dying and not really getting much value out of it. There was no Magnet Storm in that play. There was no huge rel team fights. BLG, not that far ahead in gold, but now they have the Riftmaker on Knight. Those longer team fights go pretty nuts for him. Last Whisper onto L, going towards the Lord Dominic's regards. Bin holding the Tri-Brush, as any good frontline around Antikan should be. How long can they hold it for, though? Trying to be that good front line. They will be able to break their way in through the choke point. The feather pullback will help. Bin might die for this. It's going to be taken down by Xin Zhao. Sion goes down. Wukong goes down on the other side. Triple knockup is magnificent as the ult from Aurora is laid down on top of it. The stun from Cream does do some work, but it's not nearly enough because the Crescent Guard was up and Mbessa will die. And Bin holding the choke point, giving up his life to make sure that Top Esports don't get easy entrance, gives BLG a platform to fight. That death is a good one for the Sion. Both On and Bin doing a great job. Their 400th game together, by the way, was passed in this series. Can't remember if it was, I think it was in game 1. BLG will not just get the Atacam, they will get themselves the Dragon as well. 42 petals. Giving them a good value in terms of XP and adaptive force. Bin, great job at holding the choke point. One of the most important things you can do around Atacam is hold the choke points well. Tri-Brush is the one. I almost wonder whether Top Esports should have gone through bot lane instead. It's a much easier entrance to go towards. As Hung, again, unable to get that much value down. Doesn't get onto either carry. Quadruple ult was that from Knight as well. Yeah, that choke point, disgustingly powerfully controlled by BLG. Ult from Knight will see him away safely in that side lane. On the bot side of the map, we do see the Mbessa ult going towards the Sion. Doing good damage there, actually. The Black Cleaver and the Eclipse helping, so it'll be ult for ult. Cyclone throw onto Shadow. He's gone way too far. Way too far, Shadow. You cannot afford to go there. You knew that members around the top side, and you've just died around the Baron spawn. Shadow, not great from him there. Need to see more from him around that kind of clutch objective play. Him dying is a crucial misplay. Shadow may have just opened up the door for Top Esports to get this Baron on, trying to be the face checker. Rakan's not fantastic at it. Will spot out Hung. We'll have a little bit of vision onto Hung there as well. Baron won't be finished, and luckily BLG will lose Shadow, but not get punished beyond that. Back out onto the map. Some resets have come through. On Shadow with Elk behind them. A powerful roving unit. Elk with the armor pen starts to go wild at this point. Yes, Jacklove does too with the Mortal Reminder. That is an important item to get, but I do think the Xayah overtakes the Corki quite heavily now at this point. Baron is off vision. Blue Trinket will spot that out. Bin is around, has level 16. 3 items on the Sion. Mbessa is very powerful if she wants to come in, but she doesn't have teleport. There's no Mbessa teleport. Bin can come through. Good shotgun there. Hung misses the Q, gets into the backline, but gets the ultimate down. Elk goes massive with the feather pullback, gets a huge amount of damage as Hung cannot lock down the Xayah. Hung, another failed engage onto the backline. And will end up dying for the occasion too. BLG, huge team fight will get them the Baron. A triple kill tonight as Elk also seamlessly disengages through from the engages top esports. BLG putting top esports into very, very poor positions around objectives where top esports didn't approach the Atacon nearly as well this game as they did the last one. The Baron would have felt like they'd have a better opportunity. There's been split pushing. Normally he's there to tank the Baron, isn't he? We'll take the mid lane inner turret. BLG, clean play around the Atacon and the Baron is much better than we saw from them in the past. Around MSI, one of their biggest faults was their objective play. You know, Hung gets a double stun stand down there. Knight over the side. Gets the shotgun onto Hung. Takes down a bit of his HP. Takes off his Celestial Opposition. Elk's ultimate is very, very clean. Gets the huge feather pullback onto both carries of top esports, which are stuck up onto each other. Bins shuts down the front line as well. Shuts the door closed in the front of the team fight. Hung going forwards. Gets the stun onto On, but can't follow up with the crash down. He's had a difficult old game as Hung. Top esports was, of course, changing out Crisp for Hung. Crisp not doing great on Weibo right now either. And I still think that Hung has had a decent split. Just BLG have a way of making things kind of nasty. Great shotgun. Doesn't follow up with that ultimate. Jesus Christ, can use that ult. Use it onto Kanavi. Gets over the wall. So ult for ult. Not bad from Kanavi. Making sure that the Aurora... Wow, Hung's dead again. Hung caught out, had flash, had ult, could have used them, can't do so. Shadow pops that Crescent Guard, gets some healing from the Sundered Sky. Wukong goes down, and he goes down next to follow. Dracula flashing away from Bin. Triple kill for Elk with 2 remaining, perhaps searching for more. Had a Penta earlier in the week. The time will start to tick down. 369 with flash, hard to catch him. Bot lane turret will fall, and BLG maraud through the bot side. A minute and a half left on that Baron buff. Can they crack the Nexus turrets? No, but they will get the inhibitor. Dragon starter will be Soul for BLG. Hung is around, doesn't have a spellbook smite. There's no Wukong alive, so Cloud Soul to BLG. If anything, couldn't get worse for top esports, particularly the Aurora, who's looking for these do-it-herself teamfight flanks, will be very painful to deal with. I think also Sion ulting into a play, faster movement speed to chase down for E's, for W pops, and then getting him to position for Q. It's really nasty for him too. Xayah, the disengage becomes more potent. Knight will find out Cream. Ow, what's that ult through? Where's the Q pullback? There it is. Oh, the pop is nasty. Shadow Flame fully stacked up Leandri's Riftmaker, and 4 stacks go into the Magi's Knight. Curdling Cream once more. He's so fast as well with the Cloud Soul active after he pops that ult. On from R going into the play. Jacula deleted and removed from the field of play. A Cyclone feels like a stiff breeze at that. Shadow will get involved too. BLG won't lose a single member as they clean Ace top esports. Triple kill tonight, 11-2 and 11 onto that Aurora. Night series today has been immaculate. The Ziggs, the Aurora, both very potent as top esports will find their first loss of the split, going to 5-1. BLG remain undefeated and go 4-0. Mad Lions emote as well from Shadow. Ain't that a nice touch? The Italian jungler, Shadow, joining BLG, paying homage to his old team of Mad Lions. BLG, the honeymoon phase remains strong, and a pat on the back from Knight as he smiles at 369, the player who he made such a dominant run with between JDG and top esports. Bow on stage. BLG looking much cleaner in terms of their objective play. Mid diff, well, I think across the series it's hard to argue against that, isn't it? I think also support diff is also probably in that mix too. Folks, that's our series for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to end the stream a little bit early today. I've got to go off and play some Magic the Gathering. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you enjoyed this, please drop a like and subscribe. Sorry if I wasn't completely on form today. I was at karaoke yesterday and my voice is a little bit shredded. Too much Linkin Park. Well, not enough Linkin Park, but you know what I mean. Anyway, we missed you, Chester. See you in a bit, folks, and thanks for joining us. Bye.